Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible.
It's football, man. And that's what Warriors do. They don't want to sit out.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
So this is kind of my Halloween show because I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And every Halloween we've done together, I've dressed the same way. And you dress differently every year.
Not every year, but I plan on having a costume tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. I typically like to try to dress as someone who's a coworker, like a couple years ago I was you.
Yeah, Nick, if you can find that picture of Bruce Wayne Nuño and Bruce Wayne Buchanan, I'm sure it's on my Instagram from a couple years ago on Halloween. Just if you can pull that up so Schoonover and the gang and the audience can see how far OB is willing to go in his character development.
Last year, I was Steve
McGee
as Hamilton Tiger Cats quarterback.
That was great.
Yeah.
What are some other ones?
That's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Did you do any during the Gabe era?
I came as a blind SEC official. So
the ones that we saw? Yeah.
So I was able to bring my dog as my seeing eye dog, and I had so that was that.
Yeah. I think I know what you're doing tomorrow. I think you've hinted at it. It's going to be good. It'll be great. Bronny will be hosting the show then. So Coach Elko did his little teleconference. He didn't do his show yesterday, but he did his teleconference. And just a couple of things I wanted to go through as we get into this bye weekend. This week, coming off 5 straight SEC games, the premium is staying sharp, staying crisp, and staying at our level. But maybe some of that is pulling back the physicality just a little bit to get our guys healthy for the stretch run.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. No point in risking somebody getting hurt. Let the guys relax. Of course, you still want to focus on what you have to do to get ready to be a good football team, but you don't. You can, if any contact that you do, you can wait till next week.
Well, the reason I bring that one up first is, as you know, today on the show, we're going to play a part of my interview with Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah.
The Moffitt Effect.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It was a great conversation. We recorded it yesterday. We'll run it today. We'll run the first 10 minutes of it.
Let me ask you something.
I'll answer something.
What strength and conditioning coach anywhere else do you know?
I don't. I mean, no. I
right.
don't.
That's my point. And yet Tommy Moffitt
is known.
After last week, they were talking about him all through the game. And I see people on YouTube referring to Tommy Moffitt, not Aggies.
Yeah.
He's got to be the most famous strength and conditioning coach in the country right now. Maybe in the world.
Don't you try to poach my coach, all right? That's my guy, our guy.
Well, let's hope he stays that way. Well, he's definitely made a significant impact, as has Adam Cushing and Trooper Taylor and Holman Wiggins, all the way, and of course Mike Elko and Colin. But he's made a significant impact in his job, and we're seeing why. Doesn't mean A&M's going to win a national championship, but we all hope they do. But we're seeing why Tommy Moffitt was let me rephrase it. We're seeing why LSU won 3 national championships under 3 different coaches with Tommy Moffitt as their strength and conditioning coach.
Well, and I ask about his future. We talk about his future, I should say. So that'll come up.
Did you say, let me ask you why you're thinking.
Why do you change to Rollo Insurance when you move the Roosevelt? Oh, because you're the best. Anyway, so that'll be on the interview here in a little bit. But and again, the reason I bring up the Elko bite, the Moffitt bite is hopefully we're just at the midway point.
Hopefully. Yeah, I'd love to play 16 games.
Because I'd love
to win 16 games.
A lot of teams are thinking, this is it. The final quarter of the season, we're done. And I'm thinking, this is the middle. Hopefully we play double the games.
You know, I think it'd be good because we've talked about before, all these guys want to play in the NFL. In the NFL, you're going to have to play 17 regular season games. So play 16 total games in college only prepares you for that, make you get a better idea of what you're going to face when you get up into that level. And let's face it, Aggies have a whole bunch of guys, like Mike Elko told us at the beginning of the year. He said he had, 10, 11 NFL players.
Trending in that direction,
Yeah, it's starting to look like he might have even undersold it.
Another thing he said on the teleconference, we've shown the ability to overcome adversity. We've shown the ability to learn and adapt and win a number of different ways. We've won at home. We've won on the road. We're going to need that down the stretch.
Yeah, hopefully there won't be too much adversity. Hopefully they don't. As we all know, yes, they faced adversity, but the only place in my mind that the adversity was caused by the opponent was at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And even there you had a block.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame did move the ball pretty well because they're a good offense.
And did Arkansas.
But even how much?
I never was worried about Arkansas, though.
Well, I was, but once again, to me, a lot of that was guys just blowing assignments.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor Green playing out of his mind.
He was great. A couple things that he also added on there. Ruben Owens is going to be fine.
Yeah. Ooh,
okay.
That looked kind of cringy, when you saw him roll his ankle, but good.
And Chase Masonic, he's doing great.
Good.
You need both those guys.
Yes, you do.
Because let's not forget, last year, at the end of the year, you didn't have Le'Veon and you didn't have Chase at times. So it's very important to have our guys out.
Well, another reason that you have this week to relax a little bit and like you said, let guys get a little healthier.
So Lucci had one of his articles this week, and I'm going to kind of pull out a little part of it, and we're just going to chew on it for a moment, okay? It says, in 2 games against LSU, well, really just 6 quarters, Marcel Reed has amassed 442 yards, 7 total touchdowns, more importantly, in 2 national spotlight moments this fall against Notre Dame and LSU. Reed has totaled over 700 yards of offense, 6 touchdowns, while producing a pair of highlight profile ranked road wins. That right there is a Heisman campaign.
Yeah, I think it. I was spending a lot of time because I do this as a Heisman voter. I try to take it seriously, and if I'm leaning toward voting for Marcel, I want to be able to justify it. So he's just it's just a homer. Look, I've always said if all things are equal, I'm going to vote for the Aggie, but I'll never vote for the Aggie unless he truly deserves it because it's too big an honor.
Sure.
And so I've been spending a lot of time at home, going over
number crunching
games and things like that. And Marcel should be the leader. He should be. He's played better defenses. More better defenses, I should put it that way. He's got the highlight plays, the individual play. No one really remembers it, but he had on A&M's one of their drives. I think it was their second scoring drive. He scrambles right up the middle, and 2 guys are coming at him from LSU, kind of faux spining.
Yeah,
and he does that move where he kind of puts a foot out there, and you go, and then he goes around, he just sidesteps. And that's brilliance. I hear more and more people comparing him to Lamar Jackson.
We'll talk about the Heisman in the next segment, but I'm going to tell you, I think Marcel would be on my top 5, and I think Diego Pavia should be in the top 5 as well, because Diego is somebody that we're talking about Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Vanderbilt.
Yeah, but this isn't your grandfather's. Well, actually, it is your grandfather's. It's not. It's now your great grandfather's Vanderbilt when they were good that long ago. They're a good football team.
They are.
And he's a big reason why. My only problem with Pavia is he has a lot of pedestrian games as well.
Let's go now through the Ags rushing attack, okay? So against LSU, they won that battle 224-60. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Against Auburn, they won that battle 207-52. Is that good?
That's good.
Okay. Mississippi State 229-77. Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Okay. Florida 183-74.
What? They couldn't even get to 200?
Yeah. Can you believe that? That's good, right?
Balderdash. Yeah, I guess.
And unfortunately, there's one that I have to bring up. Arkansas rushed for 268, while A&M rushed for 217.
Yeah.
So they had 217 in a bad game.
At least 187 yards. And remember, they had another 57 or 56 called back on a bogus holding call.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
But if they can go out and rush for 200 yards every game, I think
they got a chance.
I think they're going to win a lot of games.
They might be pretty good here. All right, so let's tell the people the name of the show, B. Why don't you do that?
This is TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers
in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Yeah, Jason Jackson and the boys.
And we have an hour that we've labeled.
This is the Go Hour, brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
And we sit upon a platform that we call the
Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Love the folks at Holistic Planning. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, call our buddy Buppy.
Yeah.
Or to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Yeah.
979
693
1150. 1150. By the way, he's got the Thanksgiving special. I'm jumping on that for Thanksgiving. I'm going to have my folks, I think, so we're jumping on it. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, so you take advantage of that. Buppy's will take care of you. Buppy's Catering and Bartending. All right, let's go around the room, left to right, and say hi to the humans. We say hi to Nick Savage, who's behind the glass. Nick, good morning.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. I went and did a little research. I found
there it is.
Your Halloween or OB's Halloween costume from, I guess, 2 years ago now. Definitely I think McGee's last year, I think that was probably my favorite, but it's like 1A, 1B. It's really hard to pick.
What's hilarious about that one is I did not know that you were going to be wearing a Batman shirt. That was just by chance.
I'm going to be, this won't surprise anybody. Since my kids have been born, so that's now 17 years, I have been Batman every Halloween. Or Bruce Wayne.
I've been Fatman the last about 10 years.
I can fix that. I got a guy across the street that can help too.
I just need to eat less.
I did float the idea. Billy thinks this is a horrible idea. I floated the idea of us working out with Tommy Moffitt. Tommy. He's like, yeah, we could do something like that. And then I started thinking to myself, I'm going to tear a hamstring. OB's going to have a heart attack. Bronny's going to die. Like it's probably not a good idea, but it makes for great content.
He probably has a lot of running, and I can't run. I mean, I'd like to run, but I literally can't run anymore.
You can do this thing. What is it called? Not the elliptical. What is it called? The elliptical?
Yeah,
you're just all over the place on that one.
Well, if you're going to do it,
you're going to do it right.
Do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the angry elephant. Hey, Nick, did you have anything football-wise you wanted to get in?
Not really. A lot of people are asking OB. I know every time you wear that hoodie, you get compliments on it. Where they want to know where to get it.
I don't know where
it's an Irma special, right?
Yeah, Irma found it, gave it to me. I think for my birthday or father. I don't know. I think it's my birthday a couple of years ago, and she saw it advertised like on Facebook.
Okay,
and so she ordered it, and then she was thinking, "I'm probably not going to get it. It was probably a scam," and then it showed up. So she doesn't even know where she ordered it.
I like the material on there.
I like it. I like to wear it for, Sarge running with the football.
Good look. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Alex Schoonover, what's up, buddy?
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all?
We're okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just laughing.
What are you laughing at? What's funny?
So be.
Do I amuse you?
Like a clown?
Am I funny? Like a clown?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you know what that's from?
I do not.
I knew he was.
I do not.
I think people are probably done with my shtick about asking kids about movies from the 80s and 90s. The Goodfellas.
Yeah, that's a 90s movie.
Goodfellas. I feel dumb for not knowing that.
Yeah, you should feel dumb. It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Great scene.
Yeah, I don't watch movies. I'm telling you, not at all.
I can tell. All right, what do you have for us?
I'm going to start with the A&M defense. They keep looking better and better each week. After the matchup with LSU, they recorded 7 sacks, which was a season high. They surpassed Indiana with the most sacks in the nation. Texas A&M now stands at the top with a total of 32 sacks.
You know what's interesting, though? A&M hasn't played its, everybody plays an FCS opponent. A&M hadn't played theirs yet. They haven't played their stat padding game yet.
Well, at that point in the season, hopefully it's not stat padding. You play everybody else.
You still, you can still pad your team stats.
Yeah,
Yeah, so because like Indiana has played Indiana's played Indiana State. They played Kennesaw State and
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion is actually very, very on par with the likes of UTSA and Utah State. Okay, moving on.
What else, Scoon?
So I don't know if y'all saw this yesterday. Governor Jeff Landry, since I'm from Louisiana.
I was watching.
Yeah, I was watching that little interview he had, and Scott Woodard still is the athletic director of LSU, and I was just going to get y'all's thoughts and opinions of how he said that like he will not be involved with that decision.
I don't think politicians should be getting involved in what happens with the athletic department, but
they don't have a president, so now the governor is in charge. If the governor is going to be react like that, it has to be at a place like Louisiana or Missouri or something where there's only one main football program. For instance, would we want Greg Abbott, a Texas grad, making the decision on who's going to be coaching?
Not at all. Not at all.
And I think in Alabama, they would have a problem. Auburn, so maybe it flies in Louisiana.
So I'm kind of torn on Scott Woodward. I didn't get to work with him here. All right, I met him. He was very nice. He's won a bunch of national championships at LSU, not football, which is what pays the bills, but he's got a women's national championship, baseball. Yeah. I think he's had 4 while he's been there, I believe.
Yeah.
So but football's, when you give a big contract to a coach like Brian Kelly, and it goes as bad as it goes. And by the way, he was also responsible for the initial contract for Jimbo, not the follow-up, but the follow-up was because LSU was interested in Jimbo.
I understand LSU has great expectations, as they should. Brian Kelly's lost 3 games this year, and all of them are teams that are ranked in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
One of them was a beat down.
It was. But he might be the best team in the country, though.
I hope so. One more, Scoon.
Yeah, I was switching over to basketball. So I was watching Rylan Griffin's press conference, and it made me really happy that he said we left points on the board after scoring 95 points, and we haven't seen that in a while while being A&M fans.
Bucky said they should have scored over 105.
Yeah, which is crazy. And they still said they left points on the board, which makes me happy and gives me confidence about this team.
They get started Monday, right?
Yep.
It's Northwestern State.
Yeah.
Another one of those Louisiana.
About an hour down the road from Shreveport.
From Natchitoches?
Yep.
Natchitoches.
The Demons.
The Demons.
Why does anybody pick demons as a mascot?
Because they're scary. And, the mascot means a lot. When you step on the field, you become that.
You become
a demon.
Demon.
I become an Aggie. Actually, I am an Aggie.
Why don't they just become the Satanists?
You could do that. OB, a couple of questions that have come in. Let's. Steve asked if Cassius Howell should be a Heisman contender.
No, I don't think so. I think he's All-American. I think he's going to be a contender for any defensive awards like what are they? Butkus, Outland, and then Outland can be for a lineman. But I think for a defensive player to win the Heisman, you got to be doing something that's just never seen.
Right.
It was the guy that played for the Ravens for years from Arizona State, defensive end. I can't think of his name. He was really all pro every year.
Okay.
Anyway, he had something like 24 sacks for Arizona State as a senior, and I don't even think he got a vote. And if you're going to do it as a defensive player, you got to get ESPN behind you early.
Yeah.
Like they did for Charles Woodson.
Doug asked on the YouTube page who my favorite Batman is. I'm going to let you. I think yours is Adam West.
Well, yours is
Christian Bale. There's no second place. It's Christian Bale, and then maybe a little bit later is Michael Keaton.
Val Kilmer.
No, he was terrible. Thoughts and prayers, but I love Val Kilmer, just not as Batman.
I always think the original
Adam West, right?
Best, yeah.
Yeah. He's the worst. He set Batman back, and how
did he set it back?
I'm going to tell you, he was not in shape. The outfit was terrible. The dancing was terrible. The pow was great. The sound effects were great. But as a Batman, no, it's Christian Bale.
He made out with Julie Newmar.
Well, this is true. But all Batmans hook up with girls. That's what they do.
They're not Julie Newmar.
She's 100. And
she wasn't then.
Michael Keaton.
On a scale from 1 to 10, she was 100.
And then
Eartha Kitt, too.
I guess Robert. I don't know if Robert. I don't know. But it is
Lee
Bale
Merriweather?
and Keaton.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
That's where it ends. Ben Affleck, no. George Clooney, no.
I'd even forgotten that they were Batman.
They were terrible. Yeah. Would you take them to 1775?
Oh, no.
I know you wouldn't take George Clooney, but would you take Christian Bale to 1775?
I don't know him that well. But
you know,
for all I know, he's probably a vegetarian. But, you know.
Oh, he's strong. He eats protein.
Okay. Well, yeah, because if nothing else, in Texas, we're hospitable and you have visitors say, hey, I want to treat you well.
Yeah.
And you can't treat anybody better than taking them to 1775 for some amazing Texas barbecue, like that succulent brisket.
Oh, I love it.
Or like those amazing pork ribs.
Would you take Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I would take Jack Nicklaus.
And Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson. No, Jack Nicklaus, too. Jack Nicholson, yeah. He would... I would say,
with the paint.
He would say, "Is it the truth that this is the?" And I say, "You can't handle the truth, but you can. Here it is."
Yeah,
and it's the truth.
So
it's the best I could come up with.
He would be a few good men, and
there'd be a whole bunch of good men out there eating 1775.
Yeah, and ladies welcomed as well.
Yeah, shoot, yeah. In fact, we like ladies a lot. At 17, here and at 1775.
Julie Newmar, or whatever her name was.
If she's still alive, come on down, Julie. Let's have some barbecue.
1775, txbbq.com.
And some jalapeno, some queso mac and cheese.
Que rico. 979-492-6241 is 1775. Hey everyone, it's David and Olin from the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
You know, I like when we have the chairs here because I don't feel like I have to do this when we're talking about holistic planning. But they want you to know, TexAgs subscribers, they take care of the TexAgs subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of everybody.
They want to know that anybody who signs up by November 27, 2025 will receive this awesome offer. If the Aggies beat the Longhorns or win in Austin on November 28, 2025, clients will pay no management fees to Holistic Planning for the entire 2026 calendar year.
That's free.
It's free 99. Actually, just free.
All you got to do is beat Texas. Well, it's not if they beat Texas. It's when they beat Texas.
When. And when you go to holisticplanning.com, you're going to love Holistic Planning. So it is holisticplanning.com. Check out the website and take advantage of this awesome offer. My good friend Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
You interviewed him, right?
I did. And you know what we talked about?
South Carolina Gamecocks?
No. Well, we talked about a little bit of that, a little bit about music.
Yeah.
And he brought up what we just talked about at the end of the last segment. I'm not going to bring it up again, but
barbecue?
Batman.
Oh.
He's a big Batman guy.
Oh.
No, you don't care. TexAgs Live.
So I guess in that one you become Robin.
Nah, bro.
Because he's bigger than you.
He does not do jujitsu. He doesn't.
I'm not talking about.
He doesn't know.
Batman. I'm talking about
Tommy Moffitt
in stature.
Oh,
and, in profile.
Yeah. He's nicer than me too. Why are you laughing?
I take your word for it.
Time for the Heisman Watch, brought to you by Shirtlift Law Firm. Hunter's a good friend of the company. We'll see him here on the fan show later today. We trust him with our legal needs. Call Shirtlift Law today when you need a lawyer for your business and your personal issues. All right, OP, let's start off with what you saying about number 5.
I don't know because I forgot we were doing this.
Julian saying.
I know it's Julian saying, but I don't have any numbers.
Because okay, let's just talk about him though.
I think he's a really good quarterback that's completing a very high percentage of his passes, but he's only thrown for about 1,800 yards. Yeah. And I think he's only. But here's my deal on Julian saying. I think he's good. I think he's really good. But I think he's getting an awful lot of credit for being the quarterback of the number 1 team in the country. And quite frankly, I would like to see him do something against some really good teams. He's played some of the weakest defenses in the country, and there's not going to be any good ones until Michigan. I think he's got Purdue coming up.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not good.
He just hasn't been tested.
Yeah, I mean, he put up some huge numbers against Wisconsin. Everybody does. Put up huge numbers against Grambling.
Right.
No big deal. I think he had a really good game against Ohio. But other than that, pretty pedestrian all the time. So I don't have a problem with having him on the radar, but I couldn't have him any higher than 5th, and I just gave him an edge over the Ole Miss quarterback and Diego Pavia.
So number 4 here, and I'm just going to read the first line. No team is more dependent on an individual for success than Georgia Tech is on Haynes King.
Haynes King.
Rushed for 91 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Threw for 3 touchdown passes, which he doesn't do a lot. I guess it was that against Wake Forest last week? Syracuse. Okay, Wake Forest was the week before. That's right. And I know Syracuse doesn't have the greatest defense either, but hey, he went out there and he played like he's done every game. He didn't get to play against Gardner-Webb. He was injured, and that's one of those stat games we talked about. That he could have made his stats look even more or even gaudier. But he's scoring multiple touchdowns, or I should say accounting for multiple touchdowns, I believe, in every game. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think he's thrown for like 10 touchdowns and rushed for 17. I mean, or something like that.
Yeah, he's thrown 7 touchdowns.
7, okay. Yep. And how many has he rushed for? Is it about 17, 15?
12 rushing touchdowns.
12? Well,
yeah, he's rushed for 651 and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech is undefeated because of Haynes King.
I agree with you.
Not with him, because of him.
Number 3, Ty Simpson.
Yeah, Ty Simpson, to me, I do know this. The last 2 games, back-to-back, he's thrown for 253 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the essential Ty Simpson. Not necessarily spectacular, but consistently really good. Mm-hmm. Now, he did have a big stat game. I'm trying to remember who it was against.
Vanderbilt.
Vandy. Yeah, he had
for 340 yards.
340 against Vandy. Big stat game, but he hadn't had a lot of them. Typically, he's around 220 to 280, somewhere in there, and has a couple of touchdowns. In some games, maybe 3, but he's just really good and really steady. He's not much of a runner, though. I think he has like 2 running touchdowns.
Yep.
Get ready to meet Cassius Howell, buddy.
About 79 yards of rushing yards. Not a bunch, but he's really good. He's really good. I have no problem. I had him number 1 a couple of weeks ago.
Number 2, mi gente.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback. He's thrown for about, I'm thinking, 2,100 yards, maybe less than that.
1,900 yards, 24 touchdowns, and
24 touchdowns is the big one. Yeah. Now, he had a huge game against Illinois. I think everybody remembers that. 5 touchdowns. He's had some other games with huge touchdowns. And then they did beat Oregon.
Yep.
Struggled somewhat against Iowa. Didn't have a great game. And he's had some games where he's way out there and then some very pedestrian games too. And he's actually a pretty decent runner. But you put his numbers together, I think he has less total offense. In fact, I know he does than Marcel Reed.
196 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the year.
OB, let's do the number one.
Number one in my mind, and I think a lot of people's mind, is Marcel Reed. He's had 2 spectacular games back to back. He's produced over 300 yards of total offense last week. I think it was 310, 108, and 202. And what, 5 touchdowns accounted for? Was it 4? Maybe 4.
Yeah, 2 and 2.
2 and 2. 4 touchdowns. The previous week against Arkansas, another huge game. He had a huge game against Notre Dame. He's got Heisman moments. He is, I think, 15th, maybe 19th in the country in total offense. And what he's doing now is he's running more. And I think he has rushed the last 4 games. He has more than doubled his rushing output than he had in the first 4 games.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes him special. I mean, he's a good passer, but adding his running ability makes him special. And I think if they continue to let him run and he continues to play, if he can continue to play the next 4 games, 5 games, like he has the last 2, and that means, running here and there and making some big play, and got to cut down the interceptions.
Yeah.
Right? He'll win it. He'll win it. He can win it in November if he just plays like he has the last couple of games. And I believe one of the reasons he's played so well is because, unlike early in the year, I don't know if he's being encouraged to run or if he's just taking it on himself, but he's using more often one of the greatest assets that he has, and that's his running ability.
1,000%. OB, you have a chance to not only meet a Heisman Trophy winner this weekend, you have a chance to meet somebody who might be one of those final few candidates.
You could get a football signed, and may have 2 Heisman Trophy winners on it,
and 2 other studs as well,
and 2 other studs as well.
Yeah, Mario Craver and KC Concepcion. Fitterman Sports is bringing the Maroon and White spirit to Houston with an epic autograph meet and greet featuring fighting Texas Aggie football stars, legends, and leaders. We're talking about Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner who lit it up in Aggieland, alongside with Marcel Reed, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, 4 Aggies. One forgettable day is happening on Saturday, November the 1st at Fitterman Sports Post Oak location inside Central Supply there in Houston. Bring your helmets, your jerseys, and unbeatable Aggie pride for autographs, photos, and memories that'll last a lifetime. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Head to FittermanSports.com right now and lock in yours before they are gone. And make sure to follow Fitterman Sports on Facebook and Instagram. That's Fitterman Sports, November the 1st. Fitterman Sports, the fighting Texas Aggies. Be there. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Our QB1, Stephen McGee's here from your financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right place for your financial future. What's up, buddy?
Morning.
A little cool outside this morning.
Oh, it's the best, isn't it?
It's great.
I'm thankful I got some
Football weather.
Duck camp. He got me this little vest.
Yeah.
Everyone's making.
That's a duck camp vest?
Yeah.
Nice.
You like it?
I see the D in duck now.
Yeah. I wore it. I mean, I've been waiting to wear this thing, man.
It's actually a good look.
Like what do they say? It's like a finance bro. You need to get your vest on.
You got to have your vest.
Dude. Hey, 60 degrees out.
Yeah.
No better weather than this.
Stephen, I'm going to kind of give you paint a picture of what my conversations with former Aggie football players has been recently. You and I had a conversation in that hallway.
Yep.
I think we're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Swope last night texted me. I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty good means we're legit. Is that how it kind of feels to you?
It does. I think for a lot of Aggies, though, we probably are sitting here thinking in the back of our minds that we're legit, but we're still Aggies. And so the thought of 9-3 still persists.
No, I'm past that.
We are?
I am.
I love that. You are.
I am.
I hope the mindset of our team is, hey, we're just trying to win the next game and go 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of our jobs as fans to speculate about whether or not we're 12-0 or 11-1 or whatever. I think we very much should win the last 4 games on paper.
On paper, yeah.
But it's going to be very difficult to do in reality.
Yeah. First of all, remember last year's SEC champion went into the championship game with 2 losses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's hard to go undefeated. Yep. Probably harder now than ever, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so you almost expect them to lose a game, even though I'm with you. I look up and think, I would take them over Missouri. I would, of course, take them over South Carolina. I haven't seen anything from Texas that make me think I would take Texas over A&M. So I look at them and say 12-0. 12-0, baby. But then that's the SEC.
It's hard.
Let's poke holes why they might not be. I think they are, and then we'll counter it, right? So to me, going on the road anytime in the SEC is difficult. So that would be the only, and they have apparently a good defense until you look at who they've played, right, OB?
Right. Well, yeah, I was looking at Missouri. Missouri's ranked 7th in the country in total defense. And I'm like, okay, I mean, they're good, but are they that good? Because then I started saying, well, let's see, they played UMass, which is 136 out of 136 teams in total offense. And then they played Louisiana, which is 108. And then they played South Carolina, it's like 128. And then they played Central Arkansas, which is a FCS team, so it doesn't even show up. And the only teams that have good offenses that they played are Alabama and Vanderbilt, and both of them rank below A&M in total offense. And, of course, they lost both those games.
Mm-hmm. I think what scares me about Missouri, you mentioned going on the road, handling the noise. LSU's defense, by the way, was supposedly good. In my opinion, their back end was pretty awful. You slow down the tape, and I mean, they were just not
yet
sound.
That's supposed to be the strength of their defense.
I know.
Their secondary. It has been.
Yeah. I mean, they look broken. Linebackers dropping in coverage were suspect too. I didn't love
an injury there, but yeah.
But I'll say this: going to Missouri scares me because if our defense has an Achilles heel, in my opinion, it's efficiency on first and second down. You know, a team that lines up and can run the football straight ahead, play in front of the chains.
And they can.
And they're going to probably do a lot of quick game, right? Get the ball. Exactly what LSU did early in that football game and had a lot of success. And then they just abandoned it. They started trying to take shots downfield. And guess what? Cassius Howell's going to eat, right? That's what he does. So that's the ingredient. If I'm an offense and I'm trying to attack our A&M defense, which is really good in my opinion, I'm running the football. I'm committing to running the football, and I'm trying to slow down the game. And then, offensively, you've got to find ways to get turnovers from our offense, right? I mean, if there's an Achilles heel, that's got to be it. What are we in turnover margin this year?
I'm sure we're
Middle
probably
pack.
about, because we're probably at a 0.
There you go.
Probably
For the aggregate year. And so if you're going to say, well, how do you beat A&M? Well, you got to run the football, and you got to win the turnover battle.
And they can run the football.
And so that, look, I agree with Olin. We should beat Missouri. I'm not trying to make them
And
all
they're probably on their backup quarterback.
They are.
Which
Is it official that he's out?
Yeah.
But does that really, Bo Probola was basically a, how do you say it?
Pribula.
Pribula?
Or as Billy says, Pribula.
Pribula.
Is that a good tattoo? Can we get Pribula? How much more for that? Okay, sorry.
We already got Catalyst.
We already got Catalyst. Yeah,
okay.
Catalyst got it. All right. So look, he's okay. He's an athletic guy. I think that's the one thing that he does do that the new guy doesn't. But the new guy can throw it.
He can throw it.
And so I don't really view that as.
But to me, if you're a backup and you haven't had the reps, and you're taking on a top defense,
isn't there a reason that he was the backup and not the starter?
It's a good point. I mean,
well,
he's a
NIL
young guy.
may play a part of it too.
He's a young guy, but sometimes these young guys can become better players quicker than a coach can think too.
That's true. You did.
I did not. I was never that guy.
I hardly even noticed that Reggie McNeil wasn't out there.
Oh yeah, really?
Other than he was taller.
I know you're my friend and everything, but you don't need to do that. No one's buying that.
How about our quarterback, Marcel Reed, who really, I think I've watched, you understand the quarterback position way more than I ever will, but what I've watched is a guy that in the beginning missed some throws, but was good. Now he's not missing as many throws. He's also going through more reads. He's just a lot more confident at the position, and I thought he was pretty confident when he started.
I think he's been confident the whole time. I think that's one of the strengths is, and I'm not in the huddle with him, but he seems to be a guy that's very charismatic, and that guys elevate around him. And a lot of people don't talk about that part of his game. Look, I think he's a very, very, very good college football player. I think this team is where they are because of great quarterback play. We talked about this going into the year. I mean, I was thinking 7.5, 8 wins at most for this football team. They're already at 8 wins. And I also said that if they were going to exceed that, it would have to be because of elite quarterback play. So I can't sit up here and say anything other than I get it. Like, we've had other positions step up and be good. Defense is a lot better than we thought. Running back, wide receivers are a lot better than we thought. Whatever. At the end of the day, you can't win at this level without an elite quarterback. And so he deserves a lot of credit, a lot of praise. He's the most exciting thing, and I'll continue to say this about Marcel, is there's a lot of room for development.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just now beginning to see what he can become. But we've had glimpses of, dare I say, Johnny Manziel level of taking over football games, like surefire. There's no question Heisman winner type performances. The first 2 drives against Florida, last week in the second half against LSU. I mean, those flashes of brilliance. Notre Dame. If he can do that for 4 quarters, which is the goal. I mean, look, I get it. It's so hard. That's why Tom Brady is the GOAT. But that consistency of 4 quarters of elite football, he could go down as one of the best to do it.
I think that, and we talked about this earlier with David and I think he is. I think he should be, and it's not because I cover A&M. I think he should be the Heisman Trophy leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the most it's the most outstanding. And other guys like Fernando Mendoza have been really good. Mm-hmm. But maybe if I covered Indiana, I'd have said, oh, you remember that play?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anybody's had the Heisman moments like Marcel Reed throwing a touchdown pass with 13 seconds to go to be on 4th down.
Yep.
To beat Notre Dame.
To a pass-catching tight end. A blocking tight end.
Yeah. And then a 41-yard touchdown run where he's weaving through the LSU defense, things like that stand out.
Yeah. Got a $54 million coach fired.
By the way, we're going to talk about that on the other side, Stephen. Let's hit a break here.
Oh, did I just?
No,
you got quiet.
No,
there's something good here.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, he did.
We're gonna have a fun buy-sell hold on the other side.
Had something to do with it as well.
That's true. When it comes to preserving your farm or your ranch's legacy, it's not about capturing pretty pictures or putting it on Facebook and having those memories later. It's about really understanding the origins of your land, understanding the origins of your family. And Chance McClain and Heritage Films has done that with their awesome film division. They've got the farm and ranch films, they got the regular Heritage Films, and they also have so many different options for you, like the Year Flicks, which is more of a 20-minute Q&A with the kids in your family. So there's so many different ways you can do it. A Heritage Film is a 2-hour documentary. You can do that with your farm and ranch film as well. And I think it's not only a gift for you right now, it's a gift that keeps on giving for the future generations to learn all about your family and your land. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel.
thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe. Whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. Time for a little buy-sell hold here, brought to you by our good friends at Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. All right, so this buy-sell hold is going to be the biggest fish out of water college coaches the last few years. Okay, you've got Brian Kelly at LSU, certainly didn't fit. Brian Harsin at Auburn, certainly didn't fit. And Scott Frost at Nebraska.
Fish out of water. I mean, just from a
it just didn't fit culture-wise, and also the record didn't fit.
I'll buy Brian Kelly. He's not a Cajun. Have you ever heard the governor of LSU talk?
Yeah, I heard him yesterday.
And then you
say Scott Woodward will not be.
It's so funny. And then you see like Brian Kelly doing his fake accent. It's like, dude, what a con.
That dance, he was doing the Batman dance. Yeah. Like, come on.
Like those things will always haunt you, right? Look, I'll lease Harsin, and I'll sell Scott Frost just because, I mean, look, he's a Nebraska guy. He's a legend there. I mean, that you would have hoped.
A lot of people have failed at Nebraska now.
Yeah.
Because Nebraska, I don't want to say, anything that's nefarious, but, started cracking down on steroids, Nebraska wasn't quite as good. I'm with you on all those things. Yeah, so don't want to offend our athletic director here, but got to call it the way I see it. I'm with you 100%. Brian Kelly's always been a good football coach. It just
didn't fit.
That just didn't fit.
He's the most successful of the three, though.
And Harsin. Auburn, I like Auburn, but Auburn is an insane asylum. I mean, so much craziness. You remember the people at Auburn were trying to invent a controversy so they could fire Harsin with cause, and then they, got all crazy on Malzahn, and that was the program that was going to fire. They were actually wanting to hire Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator, and they were negotiating while he was the offensive coordinator under Tommy Tuberville. I mean, Auburn's crazy. Auburn's always drunk. So I have to say that y'all lease Harsin, because it's like that for almost everybody.
Yeah.
But from that group, Kelly's the most successful. You got to an SEC championship game.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Harsin was a disaster from a football perspective, and Scott Frost was a disaster. But they all, at the end of the day,
I guess Scott Frost was good at
Central Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Brian Kelly gets hired, or does he go into more of like a media role?
I can't see him allowing that to be the last way we look at him.
I think he'll be a good coach if he's somewhere up in the Great Lakes area.
Yeah.
He'd be a better fit up that way.
Like Wisconsin.
Penn State.
You know what? Wisconsin would not be a bad choice for that. He would not be a bad choice for Wisconsin.
Yeah. It's such an interesting landscape, but he's certainly seemingly probably not going to be a fit for one of these high profile jobs.
No. We got to drop it there. Stephen, thank you very much. OB, thank you, sir. When we come back, part of our interview, you'll like this one. Tommy Moffitt next on TexAgs Live. All right, little switcheroo here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Typically, we do our Stephen McGee and Ryan Swope segment, but they had to change up their schedule a little bit, so we won't do that. But that is still brought to you by Duck Camp. Whether you're hunting birds at sunrise or flipping burgers before noon, Duck Camp's got you covered this fall. Check out duckcamp.com, built for the outdoors and designed for everything else. And for a discount, put in TexAgs25. You'll love that. All right, so here's the deal, guys. Because we couldn't have Ryan Swope, we're going to give you part of our interview with Tommy Moffitt. He came by studio yesterday afternoon, and we talked about a wide array of things. I think you're going to love it. And for the full version, you're going to want to certainly check out TexAgs.com. But here's the first part of my interview with Tommy Moffitt. Welcome back to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Super pumped for our next guest. Tommy Moffitt is in studio. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, I can imagine you're doing pretty well. It's been a good 8 weeks, huh?
Yeah, things are going well.
Yeah. So let's talk first off about what I don't know if the emotions or just the last 7 to 10 days have been like for you, considering who we just beat, your old team, and moving ahead.
Yeah. So going into the week, it's pretty hectic. You know, when you get into the end season grind, for the lack of a better term, when you get into that, things come at you real fast, and you go from one team to another. So going into it, it was pretty hectic, and we didn't have a lot of time to really think about it. And I thought the most important thing for me to do for our players was to handle it as best I could, as if it was just another opponent, because it wasn't about me. It was about Texas A&M. And the Aggies, and if the game went like I thought it was going to go, then all of that other stuff would be lanyard, and so that's the way it turned out, and it's been awesome.
I was going to say, one of the things that we were told about you when you got here, and we talked to T-Bob and several other guys that know you well, is like, you're going to be a strong team in the fourth quarter. And since you've been there, I feel like the script has been flipped, right?
Yeah.
A&M is the physical team that dictates the tempo in the fourth quarter. Where did that come from you? Like that kind of mindset in the gym that translates to the field?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it has to do with actually playing the football game, and I didn't play at a level like this, but having played collegiate football, that's important. And then working for Nick Saban, someone who was a big influence in my career, he emphasized that as well. So a lot of it comes naturally from having played the game and actually coached football myself when I first started coaching. So, yeah, it just comes from past experiences and working for Coach Saban.
Was it weird walking into that stadium as the opponent?
It wasn't because I had prepared myself for it.
Sure.
For 4 years. It wasn't the 2 years I was here. Or the 2 years that I've been here, but it was the 2 years before I got here. I prepared for it because that was my goal, was to someday go back into Tiger Stadium and come out victorious. So the thing that was surreal to me was driving into the stadium and passing buildings and businesses and places that I'd been, that I've passed for 20 some odd years. And so on the bus ride, I actually text a friend of mine and someone that I rode the bus with for 13 years, I think, is Coach Steve Ensminger, who was our tight end coach, offensive coordinator. I texted him, and I told him that I'd feel a lot better if he were sitting beside me on this trip. And so he replied back and said, go get him, and, y'all are going to do fine. And so that was the only thing that felt a little odd, was to be in that vicinity without Coach Ensminger sitting beside me.
So it's interesting. I thought A&M was going to win, and they're going to win handily, but I don't know if I thought they were going to win the way they won.
Yeah.
I bet you saw all that was possible with the way they were practicing.
Yeah. I felt it, and it took a lot to hold back those emotions, and all week long. Just when you look at film and you look at scoring and you look at what we had done in the second half. And that's what I do. I track our first, second, third, and fourth quarter scoring compared to our opponents, and and whether or not it's a valid evaluation of it, I don't know. But I've always tracked that, and I felt like if the game was close, then we were going to pull away, because that's the mentality of this team and the mentality of our head football coach, who the fourth quarter and playing at another level is something that's also very important to him. So I felt confident that that was going to be the outcome.
Well, that's been the mantra, right? All offseason, all season, finish. Not only finish games, finish the season.
Yes.
Entering the fourth quarter of the regular season, and hopefully just halfway through a season.
Yeah, exactly. And Coach Elko does a phenomenal job of pushing that narrative and then displaying it throughout all of our training and all of our practices. And he's talked to our team since we started. And practice goes that way sometimes. We start practice very well, but in training camp, it would get hot, and then you're running the most important team reps at the end of practice. And Coach Elko emphasized every day after practice is that we got to finish. We have to finish. And it's something that's our kids embrace and go out and do every Saturday.
Can I ask you something about what Marcel said at the post game? Was the tackling dummy thing a real thing?
Okay. I don't recall a tackling dummy at practice.
Okay.
So, yeah. But now, we did have a hand shield. But it wasn't a tackling dummy.
And the hand shield had a face on it?
I don't recall that.
Okay. You don't recall. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get that. So I want to talk about Coach Elko. You said working with Saban. Like, what have you learned about Elko in this, year and a half to almost 2 full seasons of being with him and the way he goes about his business?
Yeah. So he's, and this is not cliche because everyone says it, but he's very smart. And he has a very clear picture of what it is that he feels like we have to accomplish on a daily basis. There's a plan for everything that we do. And it doesn't matter if it's the second or third week in January or the day before the LSU game. He does an outstanding job of planning and preparation, and he's meticulous about his preparation. And that forces all of us to be on the same level as him. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then he's a great communicator. And, this is something I think people overlook. He's got children that are the same age as our players. And two of them, he's got 2 boys that are the same age as our players. So he understands what kids these days are going through and what their mental makeup is, because he's got 2 in their house. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. And he understands the kids today, and he communicates very well with them. And I think that's a major part that I think some people would take advantage. But being a dad, having coached, watching my kids go through college, and knowing the things that all the other kids are going through, I used to sit back and think, is this an advantage or a disadvantage? And then watching him do the same thing that I did not so long ago, I think that's a major part of it.
Is it fair to say that your job is kind of multiple roles? You get them physically stronger. You get them mentally stronger. You're their coach. You're also a therapist in a way. Like, you're with them so much that you touch these athletes in different ways. And I assume that's something you take great pride in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say therapy.
Okay.
If it is, it's an odd form of therapy. No, right. First of all, like, this job is like my job, my responsibilities are fun. And I have a blast. I enjoy what I do. I have a staff of guys that have grown up with me that are very similar but different than me, but they enjoy what they do as well. And it's fun. And it's fun to be around kids that age. A lot of people will say, Coach, how do you do that at your age? And it's more like doing that keeps me or makes me feel younger than what my chronological age is. Sometimes I'm worse than the kids. And so it keeps me going. And we do a lot of hard work. It's hard work, but it allows me to mentor them. And really, and I'd say this all the time, but the strength that we really develop lasts a lifetime. It doesn't go away when you put the bar down. It doesn't go away when you stop running. We're developing qualities not only in strength and speed and power and endurance, but mental and mental and emotional strength as well. And so that's the part that I really like about it. And you could call it mentoring or fathering or being a big brother. All of that is combined in addition to the coaching.
All right, welcome back to TexAgs. All right, so if you want the full part of that interview, you got to go to TexAgs.com, become a premium subscriber. By the way, I do ask about his future. What does that look like? We know that LSU is going to call at some point, right? That's got to be the case. So I ask him about that, and he kind of gives an answer about what he thinks about living in this community. So that'll be on that. So go to TexAgs.com/subscribe. By the way, there's a lot of other areas you can get some great content out if you're a premium subscriber. We got Offense from Review with Billy and Steven, recapping A&M's output versus LSU. Olin takes us around college football. We've got the Linebacker Blitz with Sean Porter. Pick 'em and rip 'em gets you ready for Week 10 on Prize Picks. Luke Evangelist will get you ready for 3 fall practice risers, and Bucky Ball set to debut here in a few days. Got a press conference from Bucky, Joni, and Jamie Morrison. We got great interviews from Jared Kerr, and there's some other ones planned for today. And look for more storylines from OB and more Billy Lucci content later on today. So all that and much, much more. We're hoping to get a lot more here on TexAgs.com. Become a premium subscriber. You won't regret it. All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back, Aaron Torres will chit-chat about all things happening in college football. Right now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're looking for a new vehicle, Caldwell Country Chevrolet is stocking up on new vehicles right now. Their inventory is always growing, and they are just south of those big city prices. No dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay. Their local Aggie alumni team is ready to roll out the red carpet for you, and they'll tell you about all the great value of coming there. Every vehicle that you purchase there comes with a free oil change for life. That is thousands of dollars in savings over the life of your vehicle. And if you have a pre-owned vehicle and you want to make sure that you sell it, what you can do, they'll give you top dollar for your trade-in value today. Don't wait. Those deals don't always last. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. All right, guys, let's talk about some new partners, Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. They're Aggie owned and operated. They are an mobile IV hydration company that was founded back in 2024. I met with Sheldon and Danny over the last week, and they're awesome people. They really know what they're doing. They're proud to serve Bryan College Station with awesome services like IV hydration, Botox, and even some weight loss options. Whether you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or dehydration preventative, they can tailor an IV cocktail specific to your needs. And on a busy weekend, I know some of you guys might be partying a little bit too much. If that's the case, an IV can be one of the easiest ways to ensure you're receiving all those necessary vitamins and minerals that make you feel better. Their overall mission is to bring a more personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele here in the Bryan College Station and Brazos Valley area. To book an appointment or inquire about it, just call them up or text them, 979-217-1561. Again, it's Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Check them out. It's our friends at Aggieland Hydration and Injectables.
We are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance. It is Rollo Insurance Studio, I should say. We should go to Around College Football, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more, millikenreserve.com. And with that, we go to the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That is where we find Aaron Torres, AT from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. AT, good morning, buddy.
David Nuño, what's up, buddy? How you doing, bud? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing phenomenal. I mean, this has been a great 8 weeks.
Broke the whole state of Louisiana. You got the governor. You got the whole state is just in circles right now. Really quick, what did Coach Moffitt have to say? I think I've told you this before, but got to know Coach Moffitt a little bit during his time between jobs. And there was no one I was personally more happy for on Saturday night than Coach Moffitt. I know he just came on before I came on. I'm guessing he's in pretty good spirits right now, right?
He's in great spirits. He obviously was, kind of an emotional situation for him because he went back to the place he played for a long time, but it was all business for him. And A&M put a thumping on that Tiger, what?
Yeah, no, they did. And I thought it was a very, Tommy Moffitt-esque performance. Listen, I think it's kind of interesting in hindsight. I think we all had this impression, I would include myself, that, hey, LSU recruits itself and there's so many athletes in that state and this and that. And it's like, well, yeah, but also, once you get really talented people in the building, you have to develop them. And that's not only on the field, but it's in the weight room as well. And, I think what stood out on Saturday, and really, frankly, I know this isn't an LSU segment, but the whole Brian Kelly era, he just watched LSU and he said, nothing about him really pops. Whereas, back in the day under LSU, even when they didn't win a national championship, they always had guys that looked the part of NFL guys all across the field. And so I think that's a reflection of Coach Moffitt specifically. And then to your point, David, it was just a butt whooping in part because of, frankly, A&M being the bigger, stronger, more physical team. And so, we've been doing this a long time, David. This is the first time I've ever come on at 8-0. And, I'm excited to see what happens, not this week, but next week against Missouri.
Talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. AT, so where's A&M going? Right now, they got all this momentum. They've got a very manageable last 4 games. Where is A&M going in your eyes? How far can this team go?
I think they can go very far. Obviously, I think, first of all, I was thinking about this, David. I remember you and I having the conversation in August of what is the path to a playoff? And we looked at what we thought were those 3 huge road games at Notre Dame, at LSU, and at Texas. And we said, can you go 1-2 in those games? Well, now you're 2-1. Texas, I think, we'll see where they're at by the time you guys play Thanksgiving weekend. But, you got to feel good about the path. It's certainly probably a little bit tougher than some other teams over the course of the final few weeks of the season because you have a few road games against good teams. But I think this is a team that should feel very good about, finding itself in that 12-team playoff bracket after the SEC championship game. And then I think once you get there, it's what we've talked about is the things that A&M does well. Travel. They run the ball. They're physical on both lines. They get after the quarterback. There's not going to be a team that they play that physically they can't match up with. And then once you get on the field, everything else gets decided from there.
AT, this football team, to me, what feels different is that not only can they beat you in multiple ways, but they choke you out when it matters. And that goes, I guess, back to your original point about Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah, no, and I think, it's so funny because, and you and I have talked about this, but the word I just keep coming back to with this program is just consistency. I mean, even the teams that we know are good, Alabama has had a bad day, this season this season. Ohio State has had days where they don't look good. A&M every single week, you're just getting the same exact team. To your point, when push comes to shove and it's time to get big first downs, run the ball, churn the clock, get stops, whatever, they're doing that as well. So it's just, at this point, it's just a well-oiled machine. I think the second bye actually, ironically, comes at the perfect time because that's obviously an emotional win. And if you had to go right back onto the road, if there was ever a time for a let-up, that might be it. But you're not going back on the road this weekend. You get the week off to reset. And now it's full speed ahead for the final third of the season. And like I just said a second ago with one of my previous answers, I think there's no reason to think that A&M can't win every game left on the schedule, maybe won't win every game left on the schedule, which would obviously set up certainly an interesting scenario of a potential trip to Atlanta.
AT, who's your Heisman 1, 2, and 3 right now?
I don't even know if I have a top 3. I said this coming out of last weekend, and I almost already want to take it back. I thought if I had a vote coming out of last weekend, it would probably be, in my opinion, Diego Pavia, and let me explain why. I think he has elevated that entire program, where when you look at, say, a Fernando Mendoza, well, that program's been elevated by Curt Cignetti, and Fernando Mendoza is a byproduct of it. Clark Lee's getting named in all these coaching searches, LSU and Penn State, and it's like, I don't know how good he is. He just, he has this quarterback that has galvanized the whole program. So he would probably be my one, but then you look at the stats and, he hasn't thrown for 200 yards in 3 straight games and whatever. And also, I don't know how they'll be able to close here down the stretch. So he would probably be my number one. But transparently, I still think it's wide open. I still think Marcel Reed is in the mix. Ty Simpson is obviously playing really well. Now, of course, the situation with him, he didn't play great the other day in the win over South Carolina. So I still think it's fluid. And I think like football, we kind of have to reset, what the Heisman looks like. I think for years it was just best player on best team. Well, now, we might not even know who the best team is. And so I think it does open it up to 4 or 5 guys. The guys that I mentioned, Fernando Mendoza, Marcel Reed, I think is absolutely in the mix. And then the other ones I mentioned, Ty Simpson, on and on.
AT, what do you think happens with Lane Kiffin? Where do you think he ends up? Does he stay at home? Does he go to Florida? Does he go to LSU? Does he go maybe to Florida State if that job opens up?
Ooh, that's a wild card. So couple things. One, I think people started to pick up on this week is, you make the college football playoff. It's just hard to then take another job. And I think transparently, it's probably harder for a school to hold out for you. Obviously, look, he's going to be the number one candidate in most of these places, but the situation also kind of dictates that, if you're coaching into mid-December, it's hard to, be a candidate for some of these jobs. And so to me, I think that's where it gets interesting is, for people who don't have the calendar in front of them, first round of the college football playoff is basically like December 20th. So that's assuming you don't get one of those first 4 byes. Then if you get a bye or you win a game, now we're talking about January 1st. And so, I think transparently, if you're looking for the most likely situation, it's probably, frankly, that Lane Kiffin is the Ole Miss head coach next year. Now, if you're asking me LSU versus Florida State versus Auburn versus whoever if he leaves, my inclination is still actually Florida, even though I think LSU might be a better job. His wife, who has kind of moved back with him and the kids to Oxford, she's from Gainesville. Her father coached in Gainesville, things like that. I think it's kind of well known. Kiffin's kind of a water guy, boat guy. And I know Florida's not really like, coastal necessarily, like the University of Florida, I should say, isn't necessarily coastal. But I just bring it up because, like, if he does leave, I do still think that's the spot. I think that's kind of the spot that he's probably been eyeing for a little while now. The LSU thing came about so fast. So that would be my hunch. But I just think with the way the calendar is going to work out, and with Ole Miss, frankly, you look at that schedule, it's hard to see a scenario where they lose enough games to not be in the college football playoff. I think it's most likely that he ends up staying at Ole Miss. But I'll say this, I was thinking about this. I think wherever he ends up, I think it's almost certain that he's the highest paid coach in college football next year, because even if it's Ole Miss, his agent's going to do his job and leverage those other jobs to get him a good payday, whether it is at Ole Miss or somewhere else.
All right. So then if you think Lane stays there. What happens at Florida? What happens at LSU? And any other shakeups you see happening soon?
Yeah, I'll flip it on you. I know we only have half a second. First of all, as far as other shakeups, I think if Auburn loses to Kentucky this weekend, Auburn's going into a bye no different than LSU went into a bye last week, no different than Florida went into a bye the week before. I think Hugh Freeze would be in very big trouble if they lost to Kentucky. But I want to flip it on you. We have all obviously at this time seen the commentary from the Louisiana governor. Maybe you've even played it for your audience so far this morning. I'd be curious, do you think that actually impacts people in this coaching job? Because I do think sometimes we see stuff on social media and we think, oh, that's crazy and nobody would want to work in that situation. And then you realize that LSU is a very good job. And obviously, I think it's one of the 2 or 3 best jobs in college football, frankly. And I'd be curious, I know we only have a minute or two left, but if you actually think it's going to impact candidates, or if it's a fun thing on a Wednesday in October that ultimately doesn't really matter for the future of LSU football.
I think at certain schools it would matter. I don't know if it matters at LSU, right? To think that you may not know who your athletic director is, that's just going to set you up for failure later on down the road, or some kind of weird vibes in the department. But I think you go with everything with the right intentions, right? And so if LSU wants somebody, I think they're going to get somebody, right? And I don't think that part of it is going to. It'll be maybe a roadblock, but not a complete roadblock. If Lane Kiffin wants to go to LSU, he'll go to LSU because he'll be his own boss.
Well, and I think really quickly, and I know we got to go, is I think increasingly AD kind of have less power than they ever had. LSU won't have an AD. Well, guess what? I live in Los Angeles. I can promise you the AD is not going to have final say on who the next UCLA coach is. Virginia Tech, it's the same. Florida, we just mentioned them. I think there's mixed kind of conversations, if you will, about who's making the final hire there. So I just bring it up because I think it's an interesting kind of thing going on in college sports right now, but specifically with this coaching carousel. I know LSU doesn't have an AD. I don't know how many of these players the AD is actually going to have final say on who the next coach actually is.
AT, have a great weekend, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. We'll talk next week. Take care.
See you. Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live. All right, when we come back on TexAgs, we're going to keep the coaches carousel going because we're going to talk Jim Turner on the other side. We'll talk to JT here in a few minutes. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team, and that right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, who's an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. You've got no commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise runs deep at Paragon because credentials matters, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
Welcome back in to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Schools in Session with Jim Turner, presented by Paragon Financial Advisors, Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. Jim Turner in studio. Coach Turner, what a thorough beatdown on Saturday.
Yep, never thought I'd see it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know just myself, or everybody for that matter, right? We all know who LSU is, and throughout my time here in College Station, and through college, just college football in general, LSU's always been a powerhouse, right? And then to go into their place on Saturday night and put up 49 points, they just beat the ever-living snot out of them. And if you just look at the numbers, right, we had 24 first downs to their 18 first downs. Just look at the overall yards. We had 426 to 278. Passing was even, right, 202 for us, 218 for them. And rushing, we were 224 to their 60. You know, I mean, it's just a total. And their quarterback threw the ball, I think, 12 more times than ours, right?
He threw 35 times, and Marcel threw it 21.
Yeah. My math is off a little bit, but you'll excuse me for that.
Right.
But yeah, it was a beatdown. I mean, and I think that I think Marcel's stock just went through the roof, right? Because there's different pieces to everybody's game going through every season, especially because he's still young. There's different pieces that everybody's still not sure about, but when you watch him in that game, I mean, he was in command of that game. And I think that game is a credit to the offensive coaches, the coordinator on offense, as well. For this reason, he does enough stuff. He does personnel groups, right? He comes in, he has 12 personnel. It's just not him running around doing read run stuff. Mm-hmm. That is a huge part of it, and he was the leading rusher for us in that game. And his rushing yards are a huge part of their success. But having said that, we do enough stuff. There's enough balance on offense where we run the ball, we throw the ball. We have 12 personnel. We have 12 heavy personnel. We have 11. Obviously, 11 personnel is going to be the go-to, right? Because you have 7 and 1 on the field at the same time. And they ran the ball well, and his ability to run the ball makes a huge difference. And then on the other side of the deal, you look at LSU, right? They put that whole game on Nussmeier. Mm-hmm. Like, that whole game is on Nussmeier. Like, they do nothing for that kid, right? Like, I don't see any personnel group changes. They do a little bit of it, but there's no creativity in it. Like, I saw them do a quarterback sneak a couple weeks ago, and they had big number 14 go in motion. The running back's all the way back here. They're on the 1 yard line. But they don't stop 14 and then drive him like every other team in the country does. They just send 14 in motion. Everybody knows what they're going to do. And Nussmeier goes, and the thing gets stoned, and Nussmeier gets thrown on the ground. I mean, at the end of the game the other day, when they showed him come over to the sideline, he looked like he had gone through a car wash without his car. I mean, he legitimately was so disheveled, the kid, and I felt bad for the kid because he went over the sideline. You could see him and Kelly. And he wasn't taking anything from Kelly at that point. Yeah. He was giving it back, and they let it. Smartly, they just got away from each other. But I felt bad for him in that game because it just seems to me like that whole thing. They can't run the ball. They couldn't do anything, and that's a credit to the defense as well. Like, if you looked at him when Nussmeier was trying to throw the ball, right? Legitimately, like, I studied that whole thing, and nobody was open. Nobody was open, and he was getting stroked, right? He got sacked, I think, 7 or 8 times.
7 times, yeah.
We gave up no sacks. So if you compare the two, and if you just look at Marcel Reed, right, like when the times that they do just have him stand in the pocket, he stands in there like, how many times does he get hit in a game?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. I mean, he legitimately, right, he could have gone out to dinner right after the game, with the suit on, right? But he didn't look like he had played. Don't get me wrong, like, he's working, I get it, but and the amount of mental, that he brings to the game is incredible, right? To play that position and to really make that thing run, I think he's done a great job, and he's gotten better. And I think that's the mark of good coaching with that coordinator over there.
We are talking to Jim Turner here on TexAgs Live. Coach Turner, what about the LSU offensive line? We heard how bad they were, right, going into the game.
and then they bring that freshman who, he tried his best. He'll probably be a fine player. But were they better or worse than you thought?
No, they were worse. They were worse. And like you can bring a freshman in there, right, and all this stuff, right? So, and I do this for a living, right? So there is no freshman and senior, not in these days, right? Because everybody's getting paid, right? So you have to bring the players in to win games right now. So like when you get a job today, you got to win pretty quickly, okay? And so just because you play a freshman doesn't mean anything. He has to be prepared to play. And if he's not, then the shame on you for not having the right guy there to be able to step in and play, or the guy that you can develop or whatever. So, or a guy, a transfer portal guy that you brought in that's ready to go. That's on you. You got to do that as a coach. And so when a guy comes into play like him, like I see them all do it, right? These tackles, they go out and they set on the defensive end, and the teams, they help, and they have a chip guy over there. If I see it one more time, whatever hair I got left in my head, I'm going to pull it out, right? Because the tackle's overset. The guy chips him off of the tackle and knocks him back inside. The guy goes in and makes a sack. And I'm like, when you're playing tackle, right, the number one rule when you have help is don't get beat away from your help. So if my help is on my left shoulder, right, don't overset to my left. I have help over there, so underset this right here, which I see it happen every week, right, on a lot of teams. And it's ridiculous. Like he did that. And number 9 was like, he was laughing at them, right? He's like, okay. And he just ripped inside, sack. So, he did not, like they struggled. And I do feel for the freshmen when they get in there, but not that much because I've had freshmen get in there too and they got to perform,
What do you think about A&M using 7, 8 guys in the rotation on the offensive line? And I feel like almost every position group, they're so deep that they can do that with different running backs, different offensive linemen, different tight ends.
Yeah, like I did plenty of that when I was here coaching. And I got tortured for it, right? As soon as you lose a game, you get tortured for it. As long as you're winning, everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's great. That's genius. And as soon as you start losing, they're like, why is he playing all those guys? He can't make a decision, right? And so, I think it's a great idea. I love that idea. I do that myself because you have to have guys ready to play, right? And so if all of a sudden, like that's what happened at LSU, right? Because the guy's not in there. Next thing you know, he's in there facing, he's playing against Howell, right? And he has no idea how to get this done, right? So you really got to get guys on the field as much as possible. And that's one of the things that these guys will take with them to the NFL, right? Any of these players, the more positions you can play, as soon as you put yourself in the role that, hey, he can play tackle or guard, he can play center or guard. When you get to the NFL, if you're not a first or second round draft pick, you have to be able to do that role. You have to be able to play more than one position, or they're going to find another guy that's just as good as you that can play both, and then you're out,
How good is this team? Look, I know they're the number 3 ranked team. They just went and beat LSU down. But, does this team look like a team that can really compete not only for an SEC championship, but for all of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, if you look across college football, like in their league alone, like Georgia is a good football team. Alabama's a good football team. Missouri's a good team. They're not a great team. None of the teams they're going to play for the rest of the year are great teams, right? They're going to play Missouri. They're going to play South Carolina, Sanford, and then Texas, right? So, and I think the next game is who? Missouri?
Missouri, yeah.
Yeah, so Missouri. Now, Missouri's a very beatable team, right?
And they're on their backup quarterback.
They're on their backup quarterback, but the strength, and he's a good player. Everybody raves about him. He's a good player. He's not a great player. But their run game is excellent, okay? And so the Aggies are going to be challenged for that run game, you know what I mean? And the Aggies at times have been not great against the run at different times. And there's reasons for that, right? You can see like in the game against Arkansas, like the read run thing, there was a couple of things that happened in there that they fixed. But in general, they're going to be challenged a couple times. And the closer you get to the end, right, these teams are going to fight hard to knock them off. Like, and yourself, right, when you're playing in a game, right, especially when you're playing on a team that's mediocre to somewhat good, and you go against a team that's undefeated, right, you are fired up. Like you want to knock them off that pedestal. So these teams will play hard against them. I think they do have the talent to go the distance. I think they have the guy quarterback that can do that as well. And I think like the hard thing about coaching at this point is that like right now they got time off, right? So like with these football teams at this time, you say to yourself, first of all, when they have this much time on their hands, they're going to give them a little bit of time off, I'm sure, right? So the number one thing is to keep them out of jail, right? So you want to make sure everybody stays cool while you have some time off, because the other thing is they're going to be happy with themselves, right? You can't help it, right? You're going to be happy because you're winning. And so, I'm sure when they come back to practice, he's going to tear them up and just bring them right back down, because, that's the big thing is to remain hungry and don't let one of these games get away from you.
That is Jim Turner, Schools in Session, brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors. Next week, we'll do a little film breakdown. With the bye week, we're going to relax a little bit, enjoy the football games. Coach Turner, I appreciate your time, sir.
All right, thank you.
Get over here. Attention business owners, your commercial insurance deserves a specialized attention, and the Rollo Insurance Group offers a comprehensive solution and consultation for businesses of all sizes, with particular expertise in family-owned operations. Their independent agents providing an objective guidance on liability, property, and workers' comp and specialized coverage. And every business faces unique risks, from industry-specific liabilities to location-based hazards, and Rollo Insurance business specialists take the time to understand your operation's specific vulnerabilities and your growth path, and they'll create a protection plan and scale it with your company, preventing coverage gaps that could threaten everything that you've built. As your business evolves, your Rollo agent becomes a valuable resource for risk management. What you need to do is find your dedicated Rollo Insurance agent today. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. This guy to my left drives fast, short game, but drives fast and also wins a lot of tournaments during the fall. What's up, Gerrod Chadwell?
You got to drive fast to be able to go win, I guess.
Were you driving behind me this morning?
Never.
Are you sure about that? Somebody was right up on my tail, and I looked through my window.
Flashing the
lights. I was
lights.
like, okay, it's Chadwell. I don't know if it was you. It looked like you.
Blame it on me.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Everything is good.
So, comeback win in a different kind of setting. I guess we can talk about why it was different and why it was good for you, but just talk about this week.
You know, a lot of great things. One, just being able to get everybody in a van and drive an hour and a half and compete. Mm-hmm. You know, it's often we're rushing through an airport, and I think it's just more time to bond and do some lot of fun things that create memories. And everybody got to go play, so that was nice for us to see everybody in action as we go into the off season and come up with a plan with them to help them get better and close the gap on maybe where they want to be with their own game, but also keep the team moving forward. So it was nice to be able to see everybody get some reps in. Ridgewood in Waco is a regional site in May where that, you know, wherever we get sent in May, that week will dictate whether we get to go to the national championship or not. So to be able to compete on that venue, we don't get that opportunity every season. So I want to take advantage of that. So to get to compete on that venue, to get everybody some reps, because who knows what our lineup will be come May, was invaluable, really.
And you had to handle the elements too.
Yeah.
Windy conditions.
It's just like my memories of high school golf were that. Like you play a practice round and it's like 80 degrees, birds chirping, and then come the next day a front comes through and there's no birds flying. Yeah. But yeah, a front came through and it was blowing 25 to 30, and you know, crazy enough to me, I'd never been on Ridgewood before, but there's a lot of topography changes, a lot of undulation up and down. And so that was another great thing, to hit those shots under those conditions and competing can only bode well for us in May, because in May, who knows what could happen in Central Texas. You could have a south wind blowing 25 or, you know, whatever the case would be. But and we beat a very good Baylor team that is tough to beat on that golf course. So a lot of great things happened this week.
So, excuse the ignorance here, but the tournament in October for comfort level later, how much of that sticks months later, you know?
Oh my gosh, it's just that week at regionals is the most stressful week of the year. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you've done up to that point, because everybody has the same chance. And, you know, we've been able to win 4 tournaments this semester. Let's say we win 4 next semester and we won 8 tournaments going to that week. It doesn't matter. So for us to have seen that venue, it can only help us, because most every other team will be coming in there blind. So familiarity amongst the stress will be great.
How about Kata?
Just
consistent.
You know, yeah. And I think when I was on the show last time, just shared Mike. You know, you just know you're going to get her best, regardless of circumstances. What's going on off the golf course, on the golf course, when the chips are down, you just know you're going to get her best. And you know, for the young ladies, that wasn't a really strong field. You're getting to the end of the year, and they could look at it as like, you know, what's this day worth? But played great, and we needed her to play great. It's the crazy thing about that week that we had a lot of Ags over there watching us. We finished on the toughest holes. We're going right into the wind, water. And man, Louise, made a great birdie on her next to last hole. Bren made a birdie on her next to last hole. So it went all the way down to the finish. And to really put that afternoon round together in those conditions, and what we were like 5 or 6 down going into that afternoon round, and to wind up winning by 4 just showed you how impressive that round was.
And then, Nick, if we need to disconnect, so I can keep going with Coach for a second, because I definitely want to get a couple more things in. The lineups, so explain that to me. Everybody can play in this format? Yeah, so like we get the opportunity occasionally in the year to travel what we'd call individuals. So they compete unattached to the team. So they're playing for Texas A&M, but their score doesn't count towards the team score. So it gives them a chance to get some reps outside of qualifying, travel, get in the flow of what we do. So, you know, those were, you know, some of the young ladies hadn't played a whole lot because we've been playing really good. So for them to get that chance to compete will just really help us in the offseason with the plan to help them get better. What did I tell you when I walked out and I saw you in the lobby? John Dutton. That jacket is the best.
Dude, that's the best compliment you give me because I'm a Yellowstone guy. I told you I can ride a horse, but not very fast. Probably not as good of a shot as he is. Definitely not as tough as he is. But any comparison to Kevin Costner has to be a good one.
Well, before I let you go, what does it look like? What's the schedule look like until?
It's nice. We have a visitor in town that we're really excited about. Going into next week, we really get to dive into the young ladies' really off-season plan. Off-season for us is like 3 weeks where we spend 4 days in the gym and then we have time with them individually to work on whatever part of their game they want to work on. But for a lot of them, it's a chance to just catch their breath because we've been going pretty hard at it since January, and they play a lot of summer golf. So we were laughing. We had a dinner at the house last night that they can be NARPs. It's a non-athletic regular person. That's a new abbreviation I didn't know about. So hopefully, they just get to be normal.
Yeah.
If that's going to the rec, if that's sleeping in, if that's doing whatever, they deserve that too. So hopefully package all that together. That way we can come back January rested and ready to go for the stretch run all the way to May.
Gerrod, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Gerrod Chadwell, here. We'll be back in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the world famous
Fan Show. Everybody's favorite.
Presented by Prize Picks. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of players, including the pros and the sharks. You're picking more than or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. Matt Browning.
Hey, good morning. Given the slate of games this week, PrizePicks is probably the only way to stay engaged. Just to have fun watching college football. The slate sucks this week.
Roy May. Hunter Shurtleff, hello.
Welcome.
Well, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Let's start the show the way we always do. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Schoonover, ask the hardest question you're going to ask today.
I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to start with Hunter. I haven't seen you in a while. So what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? First of all, props to Big Game Browning over here. Just keeps bringing back the W's every time he goes on the road.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what a week, right? So first of all, just quickly, I need to apologize to number 3, Ashton Bethel Roman. Now, I've never besmirched the young man, right? But I have felt this year, right, we had these 2 superstars, and he was pretty quiet, dropped some balls early, didn't get a lot of touches, and he has come through in the past couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, he has.
Right? I saw the spring game. I've listened to Billy, right? Luch was saying this cat can go. And anyway, props to him. He's
big time.
First of all, that big paw. I mean, did you see the size of his hands, though, when he caught that thing? Anyway, it's great. But what's really on my mind is I'm just enjoying that we broke LSU and their fan base, right? And it's so fun on social media. It's like they're coping. Well, y'all did us a favor. You know, we got rid of our coach and it's going to be better for us. No.
Copium.
No. If Georgia goes in there and beats LSU by 3 points on the last second field goal, are they firing him? At that point, no.
I don't think so.
No. It's because the absolute beatdown when Big Game shows up and they empty their stadium in the third quarter. He's sending us pictures during the game, right? Third quarter, and the stands are empty.
Oh, I've got a whole thing on this.
But these guys, they can't handle it. And now it's total chaos over there. And you got a governor that I've never heard before, and I don't know if I want to hear again. I mean, this guy is going off yesterday. That is chaos. Can you imagine? Because that state, if you've never been there, right? Yeah, they got La Tech and ULA or Louisiana. But that state revolves around, the Tigers and the Saints, right? And that is their team, and they love it, and they're passionate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have just taken their soul, right? Just an absolute beatdown. That was so fun, right, to watch. And we all been through it. We were giving them the game there in the second quarter. We were doing things, couple picks, should have been a third pick, right? A block punt. We were doing things that just to give them that mentality. Yeah. That was so fun. And now they just can't handle, make another cup. Show me your trophy case. No, dude. I was there in the 90s when we broke them then. Right?
We broke them again.
R.C. Slocum's inaugural game at Kyle Field, we beat them in 89. Went over there in 90 in a tough game on a tough night. Darren Lewis gets kicked out for throwing a punch on the sideline. So our star running back goes out. But then, 89, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, we beat them. And they said enough. They were tired of taking that loss early in the year. It was either the first game or first couple games. And they were tired of it. And they canceled the contract. You know who they scheduled? Rice, Tulane, back when Tulane sucked. UTEP. That's who they were going for. This is glorious. This is just another step. I get it. This is not the end of the game, but that's great. I mean, that defense has been playing well for LSU. I know they've had struggles, but it was just glorious.
I used to love that preseason game. I mean, granted, because I grew up when we were beating the tar out of them, but I used to it was a huge game.
Yeah,
every year.
We have a ton of history. We started playing these guys, I think, in the 1910s or something. For 50 or 60 years, Texas A&M played at Baton Rouge every year from the 20s until I think 75, 76 when we were winning there at the end. We played in Baton Rouge. It was a money game for Texas A&M. They paid us a bunch of money. We'd go over there. Never got a home game until the 80s. So it was just awesome.
All right, Mr. Browning, you're next.
All right. So, this is my review of my trip to Baton Rouge or Red Stick, Louisiana, whatever they call that thing.
It's like a food critic where you're doing a stadium.
Well,
critic,
The best road trip I've taken, and I've gone to a bunch so far, but my best one is Notre Dame. I'd say that was the best road trip. I mean, that beat all. I mean, because it was the game plus everything else. But this was different. Okay, so this one was a little different. I'm excited because I'm going to Death Valley at night. Right. As the sun sets in the western sky, it's nighttime in Death Valley. They have this whole thing they do at the beginning of the game, which was that was actually somewhat cool. But I was fortunate enough to get to fly private, which is I got invited. I had nothing to do with it, so
humble brag.
It was kind of cool to be able to like leave that day and then sleep in your own bed that night. Although we did get back late, but I went with some great guys, super generous dudes that were it was fantastic. We get there. Hey, we got to the Aston, or when we got to their version of Aston, the private play. Herb Street comes in right behind us, and I petted the dog, said hi to him and everything. Cool. I didn't bother him, but the dog was all the attention. Nobody cared about him. So we get down there, and of course it's rainy, and it's Louisiana, so it's dirty. I'm sorry for any Louisiana lovers out there. It's your state's dirtier than most. So. And we walked down the street, see like literally college kids puking 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the street, laying in there. Like this girl was laying in a dress, just throwing up all over herself. I mean, Louisiana. So get in. Campus is okay. I mean, it's it's okay. I mean, but when you go from Notre Dame to LSU, I mean, boy, you really take a step back, but. The people were nice. I'll say this: we had no issues with any of the fan base. They were nice to us. They were cordial. We only heard tiger bait twice, and tailgated for a little bit. The food was really good. They were frying up redfish and boudin balls and had all the Cajun food, which was delicious. But we get into the game and we sat in the Aggie section in the top. And when I say that this stadium is high, it is higher than the highest point in Kyle. Okay. You are up there in the stadium, and we're all the way at the top. And of course, and granted, let me preface by saying that I know that this wasn't their best stuff. I know I didn't get the best of Death Valley that night. Right? I was incredibly underwhelmed. Like I want to drink in the atmosphere, everything, not just how loud it was, and it was. I mean, it wasn't that loud. It really wasn't that loud. I thought Notre Dame was louder than Death Valley, even in that first half.
Well, it sounds like you also might have been closer to the moon than.
We were very close to the moon. I was scared planes might fly into where we were sitting, but so we were high, but still not that loud. And like the game day stuff. The little light show was kind of neat, but for the most part, there wasn't a lot to it. It wasn't. I think so, and I always look at the stadium too. We are blessed to have this Taj Mahal over here compared to all these other stadiums that we go to. They're all a bunch of dumps. They really are. The nicest stadium I've been to outside of this one is probably Bama's. I think Bama has the nicest stadium. Nice stadium. LSU's is old. Notre Dame's is old. The Swamp is old. But here's my biggest takeaway from it. Third quarter of that game, up at the very tip top of that stadium. It's the third quarter at night in Death Valley. And from a mile away, I could hear Marcel's clap to snap the ball. I could audibly hear it. That's how silent it was. We turned that place. When they say we turned it into Kyle Field, we did. It was dead silent when we were on offense, and we were loud when they were on offense. We literally took Death Valley, the best place to watch a college football game in the world, the loudest stadium. They create earthquakes there. Not that night. That night was all us. We completely stole it from them. And like Bronny was saying, he was saying something out in the hallway. This was so cool. We left about 3 minutes left in the game. We went because we had to walk down this giant thing and get out of there. And we get outside, and all you could hear outside when we were walking out was our band playing the Aggie War Hymn and the roar of our fans in their place. Right. That part was awesome. So I give that trip, because of the game, is what really shot it ahead. Had it been a kind of a ho-hum, scrap of a game, I don't know. I'd probably give it a 5 for overall experience. It really wasn't that great, but the way we won shot it up to a 7 for me. So cool experience to go and just literally steal their souls. They were unhappy. Oh, just one other quick story. We're all sitting in there, and we look down, and here comes this fella wearing burnt orange head to toe. He came to the game, and what I gather, he came to the game with his girlfriend, who's an Aggie, and he must be a Longhorn fan. Instead of dressing, which is fine, but instead of dressing neutral, he wore his head-to-toe Longhorn gear. I mean, burnt orange, everything. Just like even the LSU fans are going like, "What's wrong with it? What's with this idiot?" You know.
Right.
And of course, I'm watching him walk all the way up these steps, and he comes and he sits directly in front of me.
Oh no!
But the guy never says a word. You know why? Because he was sitting there doing this, like swaying back and forth, and the next thing you know, he's just vomiting everywhere.
You saw a lot of vomit.
I saw lots of vomit in Louisiana. This guy's this Longhorn fan who at the LSU A&M game is just puking everywhere. I got a picture. Everyone clears out because let me tell you, that stadium was not full. Not even at the beginning. It was not full at all. And we cleared out, and there's probably 40 feet between him and every other person. I mean, there's this giant circle around him, and he's just sitting in the middle of it like this, almost passed out. And it was awful. So I hate to, I didn't want to, but yeah. Anytime I can poke fun at a sip, it's pretty fun. So,
that color's nauseating to begin with.
It's
so
nauseating.
He's already starting behind the 8 ball. But yeah, if you're that guy, and you're wearing team colors to a game that your team's not playing in, you need to reevaluate yourself. And that goes for Aggies too. Don't do that.
I should have asked him what year he graduated.
I mean, you can wear a hat, but generally you go neutral.
Yeah,
you just wear neutral clothes and feel. Heck, I wouldn't even mind if you're a Longhorn fan and you don't want A&M to win. Feel free to wear LSU gear. I don't care, but don't come in there like that. I mean, this, and of course he made himself look like an idiot.
A buffoon.
Yeah.
All right, Roy May. Welcome to the show.
What up?
Hey, tell us something good. What's on your mind?
So I made a bad pick last week,
but
it was kind of in the right area. I said E.J. Smith was going to break out. I thought he'd earn a lot of snaps. Now, there was somebody else in that running back room. Jamari Morrow is absolutely fascinating to watch, knowing that he's a freshman, watching him participate in this offense, because freshman running backs aren't generally played a lot. You know, they get a little bit of mop-up time. You don't trust them in important spots. And this kid, just for whatever reason, has decided to not be a freshman. And I think you can attribute that direct line to Tommy Moffitt. And another thing on my mind is Tommy Moffitt, we should have had an extension waiting for him in the locker room. Retain that man at all costs. But to see Morrow play, run the ball well, catch out of the backfield, and it's just adding yet another, man, look at all those empty stands back there. But it just, to see this depth that we have with this team, Ashton Bethel-Roman, like you said, or Ashton Bethel-Roman, to see him come out, because we heard everything about him in camp, and then all of a sudden it's Concepcion and Craver, the show, right? It's been all season. But to see him come in and contribute with just a circus catch, but be involved in the offense, know that we have multiple tight ends, we have multiple running backs. Dude, this is a freight train coming down the tracks, man. Like offensively, it really is. And the third quarter, we've been saying this all year. Man, if they could just put it all together for one game. Well, I don't know about for one game, but for one quarter, that was about as good as it gets. Offense, defense, special teams, that is as good as it gets. And you talk about, you can break any team's soul in the nation. You do that in one quarter, especially coming out of the locker room and start it off, because we haven't seen a lot on offense. But what does Bussy do to start the half off? A huge return to put us in great field position. Still contributing. These guys play for each other. You see them on the sidelines. This is just a different program, not just team.
Well, all right. I want to get everybody's thoughts emotionally where they were at halftime. So, Hunter, start us off. What were you thinking at the half when they're down 18-14?
I wasn't that worried about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
We started out fast, right? I saw this offense. I was following the stats on my phone. So I knew we were up 285 yards to 160 or whatever it was. I mean, I obviously I'm watching the game. So it was beating yourself. We were getting pressure. We'd already got to Nussmeier early. I knew that was going to affect his head, which it did. I actually was not that worried about it. I mean, I just had a feeling that this team was going to do what they needed to do in the third quarter.
What were you thinking, Roy?
We're going to adjust at halftime. What do I have to be worried about? The only thing that I was thinking about negatively, we got to figure out how to protect our punting game.
Okay.
Because that's twice. And those can be game-changing plays when you play a team better than LSU. But that was literally the only negative thing. One of the picks was just a poor decision. He just didn't see him, or whatever it was. The pick in the end zone was bad. The other pick happens. That's, those aren't necessarily even on Marcel Reed. The offensive linemen are supposed to keep the defensive lineman's hands down. That's part of their job. Gets tipped.
Yeah.
Good catch. So one of the two I'll excuse. But overall, I'm just sitting there going, Blues going to the locker room. Mike Elko
figure something out.
Figure it all out. And
Matt, I was mad because I knew we were the better team. And I'm like, on the road, you can't make those mistakes. I never thought we'd lose the game, but I was mad. Like I was hot because we should be up 21-9 at worst.
I was frustrated because I'm up there amongst the fans and just say, no offense, but not all of you understand football very much. I mean, they're just like, this is happening again. I mean, I can hear people and I'm going, guys, would y'all relax? Okay, we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to do. I will say one thing I do like about this coaching staff. Does anyone feel we're going to get another punt block this season after that?
I don't know.
I think
that's two.
I mean, you watch Elko after that, he's like, that won't happen again.
Yeah.
That's what I genuinely think that will be worked on this week, and that shouldn't happen again this season. But no, I was not worried about the game. I thought to myself, we dominated them in that first half, and they've got the lead because of our own mistakes, our own dumb things that we did. The personal foul, the dropping where Dalton Brooks dropped that interception right in his hands. And the thing, too, is if you think about it, right before he threw the interception in the end zone, I mean, he threw a ball that hit KC right in the hands. And so it could have been so much worse had we just not shot ourselves in the foot in that first half. I think outside of our mistakes, we did do offensively and defensively. We played amazing in that first half.
Yeah.
Just the mistakes that kept us from breaking it open in the first half. Turned around the second half and absolutely just
theoretically a 12-point swing.
Yeah. Let's hit a break. We'll come back with more right now. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with the Aggies, then you need to check out the Association of Former Students that are bringing Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about Aggie Ring Day, all Aggie Hullabaloo, the gathering. They all welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees. All these events offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand and get it in front of all the people that are there with on-site activation, recognition, social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner with the organization that's been supporting the Aggie Network for over 140 years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas. More than an outdoor lifestyle brand, its products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors, designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today." From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Fan Show, presented by Prize Picks. All right, gentlemen. How does this feeling at 8-0 compare to 2020? And I know that 2020 was a weird season, right? Because you had COVID going on, half-full stadiums. You didn't know what to think. You felt like if it was a tie, A&M was going to get screwed in the college football playoffs. So I understand that. How does it feel this year compared to then if A&M continues down this path? Roy, why don't you start us off?
I mean, I can't say what I'm thinking, but it's a fantastic feeling. This blows the doors off. And like you said, that was a weird situation to begin with, right? The Big Ten playing basically 3 games and still qualifying. That was a full-blown anomaly. And I think it was fun to watch, but I'm enjoying this a lot more. It's not because I'm going to games or going on road trips. I'm enjoying just everything I've seen about this because this doesn't seem like a one-off. This seems like we're building, right? We're building this program. And I think it's nothing but excitement moving forward because, I mean, one, we have no idea what's installed this year, right? But what's installed down the road? I mean, just as this program continues to build, like who can Texas A&M be? And I think that's why there's so much more enjoyment now because this seems sustainable, right? Because 2020 was the anomaly of anomalies, in so many different sporting events or leagues or whatever you want to call it. But this is in a normal environment. Everything's going, well, obviously everything's going as planned. We're 8-0. Where can this team go? Where can this program go? So I think it's a lot more enjoyable and there's a lot more, it almost feels like permanent anticipation, right? As opposed to like, boy, this is the year. Because if not this year, think about next year, we're going to lose all these people. It just seems sustainable now.
Right.
So this is great. I'm having a blast.
And I think a big difference is the defense, right? That they got some shutdown quality. In 2020, it was a little bit, Bama had their way with us. That Florida game was, a barn burner. Needed some stops. It's different. I mean, that was fun too. And when you get on these waves, you just enjoy it and don't worry about next year and let's go.
Say that louder, please.
Between the explosive offense, certainly more explosive. And we had some playmakers in 20, right? You had Anias and the running backs and that A-chain. But this it's different. The offense is just crazy explosive, and the defense is going to come to play. So this is, and I keep looking back how close we were last year, right? First year coach, you had, and defense is slipping there, but we were still playing for a conference championship seat there till the very end, right? So that makes me feel better, right? The sustainability part of it.
Absolutely.
Well, and just from a sustainability standpoint, you look at just use the D line as an example. We lost 4 guys in the NFL on that D line, and we all were like big question marks going into the season. Now, of course, they've been one of the strengths of the team. So you can see where, hey, all right, look, next year, Cassius Howell probably isn't going to be back. Casey Concepcion isn't going to be back. We just reload. And this is what good programs do and good coaching staffs do is they just keep reloading and to go. So that's from a sustainability standpoint. But 2020 was a weird one, man, just because, it was – we start off with a really bad game against Vanderbilt, we won, but we just didn't look good. And then, of course, we get just absolutely housed by Bama. But then everything started to come from there. The Florida win, and then to go in to beat LSU at the end of the year. But just a weird year. It's really hard to compare the two. And again, you can't really compare the season to 2012 either. When we look at our last really good seasons, 2012 was a completely different. We'd already had 2 losses early, but then we really took off at the end, and the excitement of Johnny and the newness of the SEC and all that. It was that was a completely different type of fun. 2020 was not was just you go to the game and there's no one there. We didn't take any road trips, none of that. So. This year is a very different animal. Well, this is the most excited outside of 2012, just because 2012 had a different type of excitement, but this is the most excited I've been about.
Let's be honest. Like, this is, and I recognize you still got November to go, and November sometimes isn't kind to us. I recognize that. But this is the best chance at a national championship for our football program in 30 plus years.
Did you just say national championship?
I'm just saying.
Well, you know what?
David Nuño.
You know, you said something.
You're undefeated
Next
in the
year,
SEC.
Nuño.
Yeah, fine, let's talk about it.
I'll tell you why this is weird and what the difference is the fact is that I think that we've seen enough to know that we can go on the road and beat Missouri. We can come home and win these 2 games, and we can go and empty out DKR the same way we just did Death Valley. It's possible to do this with this team. And the thing is, and we would not, and I know you well enough to know, national championship is not normally in your vernacular.
No, but
But
now,
to hear that is,
it's like last year at this time, I didn't feel great. I thought we might make the SEC championship game, but I saw all these issues with the defense. Like, I don't know, we can't tackle, we can't do this. This year, there's issues that pop up for a little rainstorm, a little bit, and then they fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Like Arkansas happens, and then they fix it. Like there's a lot of different things this year, and look, I don't know if they could lose 2 out of the next 3 games. Who knows, right? Like, but it's the best I have felt about actually thinking, dude, why not us? Why couldn't we go all the way?
Well, you bring up November. This team has never been through November. So I don't really care about past Novembers because it doesn't apply.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing, going back to what you were saying, last year we lost 4 defensive linemen. We're, crap, what are we going to do? It's not this part of the sustainability of this program is the development of players. And I don't know if you saw Marcel Reed on Kirk Herbstreit's podcast talk about develop, wait your turn because your number's going to get called and you have to be ready.
Well, Joey Galloway was impressed with that.
He was wildly impressed. And that's a mentality I think this program has is, look, you're going to get your time. From now until then, I need you to absolutely grind it out and become the best version of you as a football player that you can be. And that's what this culture and program is becoming. And that's what we saw. I'm not saying we're them, but that's what you saw when Saban was at Bama. You had 5 stars playing on kick coverage.
So whenever Jimbo took over, I thought, all right, this is what we're going to get now. We're going to always be a 9-10 win team, right? And this is going to be our culture moving forward. That was not the case. It feels like that's what it's going to be with Elko. You're always going to be in the mix. And next year, I was talking about next year, Nuño. I was looking at it, I was like, man, I'm a little worried because all these guys are going to go to the NFL. Like, I wonder how we're going to look because there's always that transition when you have a brand new offensive line. I believe in that guy across the street. I believe in him, so he'll figure it out.
Yep. I can't. I hope next offseason I'm going into it going, we're going to be terrible because every time I do.
You hope you're going to be like that in the offseason?
Yeah.
I guarantee you're going to be like that going into the season next year. Look at all these people we lost.
Every year I go into it excited going, this is we're going to be really good this year. We're terrible. And then every time I go into it going, we're going to be really bad this year. We have a season like this. So that's what I'm saying. I hope I go into it that way.
Thank you, Nuño, because look what the coach over there is doing. Look what Elko's doing. Look at the snap counts of this running back crew, right? We have lost what we're going into the season as our best offensive player. We were all going to say that was Moss, right?
Yeah.
Unanimous. He's riding the bench and been fighting injuries, and he's a ton of running backs getting snap counts, right? If you actually watch, look at all the linebackers that we're playing. Mm-hmm. It's not just 3 of them, right? He's playing a host of linebackers. Defensive line, those guys, those ends are getting rotated out all the time. Same thing with our safeties. Offensive line, same thing. He is setting you up, right, for these guys to get experience and playing time so you can actually sustain this. And maybe a little lesson here, what did Brian Kelly do in the offseason? Portal, huge. Sometimes you're going to bring in that many people, it's not going to work out. Mm-hmm. And when times get tough, you got brand new players in there that haven't bought in yet, right?
Well, in this rotation, they're getting meaningful snaps too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a really, really good football team play 7 offensive linemen throughout a game, like on a regular rotation. It's just weird to me, but it's successful.
It's working.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's working.
Before we hit a break, Dr. Chad sends in a message. Question for the fan show, fellows.
Nerd.
What do you think the Missouri game plan will be against the Aggies with a true freshman quarterback? Also, Roy, nice jacket.
Word.
It is nice.
It is a nice jacket.
Look, I'm going to give a little bit of perspective on both sides. I think the main thing is to stop Ahmad Harvey from running the ball against Texas A&M, right?
Absolutely.
I think he is their offense. As for a quarterback that you don't have a lot of film on, who can throw apparently, maybe doesn't run as much as Bro Turbula and Matt Zollers, I think you try to confuse a freshman quarterback.
He's a freshman quarterback going against the Mike Elko defense.
Well, what's funny is somebody put it up on the board. Hardy actually really hasn't been that good in SEC play outside of South Carolina. He's 50, 60 yards a game kind of thing. But they were able to rely on Turbula at least to keep them in games, quite frankly, because if he's only run for 50, 60 yards, that's not great. I think you do exactly what we did to Nussmeier, and you let the dogs loose on him. I don't think you have to confuse him. Play one-on-one, and you know for a fact that you've got defensive ends and defensive tackles that can beat their offensive line, point blank. I think you just absolutely unleashed the line on them.
Yeah, and LSU tried. They had the early sack, and then they got to their quick game, and so Nussmeier was doing the quick passes out. So you probably see a lot of that.
Which
that certainly favors. Yeah, you got a new quarterback. He took
it takes
half a quarter of snaps the other day. I like Missouri. I've liked them all year. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, well, you lose Perbulan, it's different. And then again, Nussmeier's been doing this long enough. He can make the quicker reads. It takes freshmen generally a little bit longer to see the field. So if you're forcing the ball out of his hands quickly, he's generally going to make a poor pass or a poor read.
Yep.
So this could be a multiple interception kind of game.
All right, let's hit a break here. Aggie fans, Saturday is going to be an awesome Saturday. Fitterman Sports is bringing some legends together. You can come meet Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner who lit up Aggieland, along with Marcel Reed, hopefully also a Heisman nominee and maybe even a winner, Casey Concepcion, and Mario Craver. 4 Aggies, one forgettable day. It's happening Saturday, November 1st at Fitterman Sports Post Oak location inside of Central Supply there in Houston, Texas. Bring your helmets, your jerseys, and unbeatable Aggie pride for autographs, photos, and memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets are going fast, so you want to go to FittermanSports.com right now. Lock in yours before they are gone. And also, make sure you follow them on Fitterman Sports on Facebook and Instagram for all the action. That is FittermanSports.com, Saturday, November the 1st. Fitterman Sports, the Fighting Texas Aggies. Go be there. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. As a reminder, the final segment of the program brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. I think you guys were impressed I didn't look at my script. I felt eyeballs on me.
I mean, you've been doing this a long time.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, if you can't pull that off, then...
Can you do it?
No, I could if I did it daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. So you're saying what I do is not that hard?
No. What you do is incredibly difficult. Hey, I will admit, though, it is a lot easier for you to do it this time of year. Hey, come see this guy in June and July. He is struggling.
Well, I've got some content ideas actually just popped in my head on the way in.
Is that right?
We'll talk
okay,
after the show.
Pass those to. But I've said this all week long. And I told this to Gabe, and he agreed. I'm a much better host. Like, people like me a lot more right now than they did when we went 5-7. I was the worst. Like, I was like, you suck, Nuño. Thanks, Mom. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. A guy who loves to read a lot of books, Luke Evangelist.
You know, I haven't actually read a book cover to cover since maybe middle school.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You listen to books?
Yeah, I would rather listen to a podcast or listen to an audiobook.
Hey, man, so, hey, by the way, listening to an audiobook is equivalent to reading it, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I've had people argue this with me.
It's not equivalent.
You're getting the information the same, whether you're hearing it or...
Yeah, but the act of reading is an actual, there's a muscle involved in it.
Sure.
And you can multitask when you're listening, which is why I like to listen.
So I read in the morning, but when I'm in the truck all day, I've got books on tape going. And
I feel like you've had some really weird argument with somebody about this.
I have.
You're a little heated about.
No, he goes, audiobook isn't the same as reading. I'm like, yes, it is. I still get the same information. I've still retained the information.
But it's not the act of reading.
Yeah, it's someone's reading.
So when you get an IV, is it the same thing as eating?
You still get the nutrients, right? The same thing. So, yeah.
But are you eating?
Yes.
Or are you IVing?
What would they put in an IV to simulate eating an entire birthday cake?
Oh my God.
What would that IV look like?
It's like that clear gel you use to decorate the cakes. That's what the IV bag looks like, basically.
Just powdered sugar.
By the way, we're playing the Prize Picks game. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. What happens when you do that, Luke?
You get a guaranteed $50 once you play your first $5 in lineups.
If you use the code TexAgs.
If you use that code, yeah.
All right. I think I had a horrible week last week.
You would be absolutely right. You were 2-6.
Yeah, I figured. I know
and everyone else was 4-4.
Okay. So
and who's currently in the lead for the year?
Okay, that would be yeah. Matt Browning is winning by
4. By 4.
3. Okay. Over Roy.
I'm in second.
You and I were dead last year.
You're in second place and you're 4 games below 500. That should let you know the caliber of your competition.
I play down to my competition.
Regardless, the fact is, Roy and I were dead last year. These two knuckleheads destroyed us, and this year, resurgence.
I miss Matthew Dawson doing it because I won with him. Oh, sorry. Hey, Luke. Let's read some books.
Jeez.
How many books do you think this guy's read? Diego Pavia. More than or less than 240.5 passing plus rushing yards against Texas.
Well, I think
so that's his total yards.
I think Vandy's going to handle them, so I'm going to go more than.
I'm going to go more than.
When you add the rushing yards in there, too, and I know he's been slowed a little bit. I guess Missouri had a handle on him, but I'm going to go more than.
Again, this is a spite pick. I'm going more as well.
Julian Sayin from Ohio State. They are playing Penn State. They're hosting them. More than or less than 253.5 passing yards.
I like the cheat. Go ahead, guys.
I'm going to go less. Just because I don't feel like this is going to be much of a football game. And I'm run the ball more.
I'm going more than.
Yeah, I'm going more than, too.
Going more than. Yes.
Penn State's actually still playing okay. I mean, the tight games.
Okay, here is a Penn State player, Katron Allen, their running back. More than or less than 49.5 rushing yards.
Man, that seems low, but man, I think
that Ohio State defense.
I think Ohio State is going to.
Are they still kind of 2-man backfield back there?
Yeah, and they kind of have to run the ball because they have their backup quarterback.
Get some carries stolen.
Yeah, well, no, they have to attempt to run the ball.
Yeah, because they can't throw.
Less.
I'm going more. That's just a.
I'm going more than.
Low number.
Yeah, more than. This is where we make.
It's just too low. Yeah, I'll go more.
This guy's smart. I see what you're doing here.
Next up, we've got DJ Lagway, more than or less than 240.5 passing yards. They're playing Florida in Jacksonville.
Florida's playing Florida?
Sorry, I mean, they're playing Georgia.
Aren't they in Atlanta in the stadium under construction, or Tampa or something?
Jacksonville or
Tampa? Or
only plays in Jacksonville?
Yeah, but they got issues.
Less.
You said 250?
240.5.
I say less.
I'm going to go with less.
I'm going more. No, I mean, I'm not inspired. I mean, Georgia's defense is not Georgia's defense.
Roy, you said less?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going more.
More. All right, we're split down the middle. All right, and then we've got Gunnar Stockton. He's the quarterback for Georgia. They're not playing Georgia. They're playing Florida. More than or less than 220.5 passing yards.
I say more.
220?
Yep.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, I'll go more.
Okay. That Florida defense.
Here you guys, watch this. I'll tell you now, Nuño's going less. Okay,
Yep.
Go ahead and put him down for less.
I'll go more.
Oh.
Brennan Thompson.
The old switcheroo.
Brennan Thompson, the wide receiver from Mississippi State, more than or less than 67
Who do they have?
and a
that
half
guy
receiving yards against at Arkansas.
That guy can get that. Can get that on one play, and I feel like Arkansas. I'm going more because that kid's good. He's really good. He's the one that caught the big touchdown. Their big.
It's like the pillow fight of the week in the SEC, isn't it?
What about Auburn, Kentucky? If this is the pillow fight, that one might be the.
This is true with the
What's
pillow.
worse,
That's
the
Arkansas's
slumber party?
defense. I'm going more than.
What was the number again?
67.
Last
And
game,
you
76.
have an. I think you
150.
have an emote that goes with that.
I'll go more.
I'd love to see the over/under on both of those games.
I'll go more than.
I'd love to see the because hey, take
Brownie,
the over
hey,
in
Brownie.
the first one.
About
and
7
under
inches
the-
from your hand is a phone where you can find that information.
I don't care that much.
Finally, we've got Haynes King.
Yeah.
More than or less than
America.
75.5 rushing yards at NC State.
NC State.
Tell me about
I
the
don't know
NC State
anything
defense.
about NC
Luke.
State.
Not good, but somehow good enough to beat Virginia.
What's the number?
75.5.
Oh my!
I have a
gosh.
hard time thinking that they're going to run him that much.
That's all they got, though.
He needs a Heisman moment,
I
though.
know, but less. I'm going less.
He's the leading rusher every week. I'm going more than.
More.
I'm going more.
All right, that's all we
This
got.
is where you dropped the last place. That's amazing.
Yeah. Or I really shoot
You
ahead.
got a huge lead.
I'm either going to have a huge lead next week, or I'm going to be right back down with these schmucks.
I had the 5-player parlay, and my boy Mendoza from Indiana let me down.
You had 4 out of 5?
Yeah, because I went over on his passing yards, but they were crushing him so much he didn't have to throw the ball.
Oh.
I did not see that coming. On my podcast, we pick 5 games a week, but we just pick them straight up win-loss.
Yeah.
But there were so few close spreads last week. So we picked against the spread on that one because it was like 29.5 or 26.5. And I was like, dude, because we saw the new Heisel effect. I was like, there's no way.
Hey, I want to say something that I missed saying earlier real quick since we have just a second. I want to say that in the third quarter of that game at Death Valley, I want to go back. I want to just rewind here for just a second. That the fact that you could hear that we had changed that place, I could hear Marcel from up there, right?
No, Nuño, it's.
Yeah. And from up there, I could hear Marcel's clap. I can tell you this. So I know that I didn't get the best of Death Valley. I get it, all right? I did not get the best. I did not get Death Valley at night like it normally is. However, I can tell you this. I've been in that stadium across the street so many times when we've been a bad team with a lame duck head coach and we're getting beat by a team. And I can tell you this, that stadium has never been as quiet as that stadium was. So take that for what it's worth. But I mean, when people go in and go, this is the best atmosphere in college football, you have to add that game and that atmosphere into that equation and say, okay, sometimes it is, but it's not always.
Right.
That one across the street is always the best in the business.
Well, they're front runners.
We are so fortunate to have the fan base that we have, the facilities we have, and the passion that we have for our school. Because let me tell you this, they were the number 20 team in the country playing an undefeated team at home at night, and they were gone before the third quarter was even over.
Got to hit a break. We will come back with the final segment of the Fan Show, brought to you by Prize Picks on TexAgs.com. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
The D.R. Horton one?
And we are back. They call it TexAgs Live because they made the name up. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio during the fan show presented by Prize Picks. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center and try to get in a few more sponsors. All right, Alex, I know there's been some questions in comments on YouTube, on TexAgs.com, the premium chat. Give us something good to chew on here this segment.
Let's see.
Didn't give him any warning.
No, I mean, he's supposed to be ready. Bam!
I am. I'm trying to see.
He's trying to see which one's the best one.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Well, I mean,
Well, this is
I
good.
will
This
say
is
that
good
Dr.
radio.
Chads was obviously pretty good because he complimented my jacket. I had a meeting before this morning, and a couple people were like, I really like that jacket.
I went with the block T today, too.
Yeah, the 39 throwback.
Hey, so I'll ask the question out loud, and I'll try to maybe not make it as big as we had at the break. If A&M continues down this path, okay, this path of winning games, let's say they go to the SEC championship, maybe they win that bad boy, and they go deep in the playoffs, and who knows? What happens to Texas A&M? What happens to College Station? What happens to Bryant? What? Just kind of everybody give like 30 seconds about what happens if this path continues.
I mean, it's what we saw in 2012. I mean, I think it's similar. I mean, you see the excitement again. The sports, your especially your football team is the front porch of your university.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a spotlight to it. The things that we have, the things that are neat, that are amazing about Texas A&M, and I think we see another somewhat explosion, not only in people trying to get admittance, but also moving back to town. Aggies wanting to be around this program and retiring Aggies and everything else wanting to come home.
And more people want to see what it's about, right? 'Cause we did see that when we joined the SEC, and then Johnny had that year. But you get more visitors. There's people want to see downtown Bryant. People want to hang out in College Station. People want to come here, maybe when it's not football season, right? There's a lot to offer. So, yeah, it would be huge.
I think you should carry over in other programs as well.
Yeah.
Like a successful football program means it's a successful athletics department, point blank. It really does, because you see trickle down. If kids want to be at A&M because they know like it's a brand.
Yep.
And and on top of that, because of the coaches we've hired across the board, like this is becoming a wildly attractive place to come and play whatever sport it is you want to play. There's going to be a lot more kids getting denied admission than there were before, and unless they increase enrollment.
Let's go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I want you to read to Browning Cody's text, if you don't mind, if you can find that.
Okay.
This is direct. This is a shot. This is a knockout blow. This is a walk-off.
There's a fine bomb.
Is
It's actually not that big.
Is this the reading and listening text?
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, reading and listening to absorb information are two different things.
You could have kept on going on that, actually. I think I oversold it. But he just came at you.
Okay, look, I get it. All right. I mean, but still, the fact, while I'm driving around the truck
You're
all day.
stammering right now, buddy.
When I'm driving around the truck all day, I'm not just listening to music
Browning on the defensive.
or sports talk radio. I'm absorbing wisdom from books, regardless of whether I'm reading them or not. But I do read. I read every day. I read every morning. So.
By the way, John Cypress says Johnny was a freshman quarterback going against Nick Saban's defense. So you can do well against it, but hopefully he is not
Johnny Manziel. Okay,
Matt Zoller football.
A redshirt freshman too.
All right, that'll do it. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
Thank you,
everybody. Alex, good job. We will see everybody mañana. I won't, because I'm taking the day off. Ronnie will be here. See you then.